1, 2, 3, Rain, talk to me. We're gonna hit a beat and talk about my Eve. Everybody don't know what I say.
God.
I'm gonna do a beat.
Make it stop.
Rain?
It's
Why?
time to stop.
Why did you?
Rock, paper, scissors, right? We don't want Eve to be as simple as shut the fuck up, Seto!
Floods of like memes, and these small gangers are like, we're the elite of the elite. Do not fuck with us. We will kill you. We are the best players ever. It's like, dude, I did your shit. I did it better than you did.
You know what this conversation is like? When I say not enough supers die in Delve, and people tell me, oh look, there's a super died in Delve. So it's like, when
What
I'm
are
talking
you
about
even
the balance
talking
issue,
about? We were talking about fucking balance, not supers
Yeah.
dying in Delph.
Look,
Why
look,
does
look,
everything with you have to be about supers fucking dying in
Shut
Delph?
up! Shut up!
Christ!
It's an analogy, moron. It's an analogy. Okay?
You guys stop arguing. You act like a fucking married couple. Jesus Christ.
No, don't stop arguing.
It's an
Well, it
analogy.
is trash talk
I
Tuesday.
was say,
Wow. Imagine I say I'm leaving, Gobbins loses his shit, and our dudes are fucked and dealt 40 signers. Oh hey! Oh hey stream, how are you? Welcome to Tuesday! We've got another riveting episode of Trash Talk Tuesday for you, and today I have some of the dankest leaks that I've ever seen. And you know what? Wow, I'm sorry. They're really good leaks. So today we're joined by a lot of people. Thanks Bob for the gift subs. Appreciate that. We've also got a ton of Imperium people on that are no doubt wanting to smug, and by God, you guys have earned it. And Villy, unfortunately, Villy's not here yet. He should be back soon, or he should be here soon, hopefully. I talked
He just
to him
wanted
a
to get
little bit.
cigarettes, right?
Milk.
Someone is
actually.
outlooking
He
for
doesn't
him.
smoke, dude.
No, it's
So-
the milk. He went to go.
Yeah,
get
he
the
went out to
milk.
get milk 2 months
No,
ago.
come on. Let me tell you the real
Have you seen my Billy?
reason is because he's been busy lately. So I told him, I was like, I understand, dude. So he wasn't around when everything went down. He was around long enough to jump his wyvern out, but not around when everything went down. So that's fine. But he doesn't want to be the person to explain it all, right? Because he wasn't really around, even though he's screaming Jack to the fucking tits when everybody subscribes, which is amazing. So tonight obviously we're going to be talking about the entire end of the Papi coalition, and probably another coalition. Some alliances are already evacing, some corps are heading to greener pastures. Alliances are disbanding. There's a lot of shit that's actually happening, and the cool thing is that I'm not in Pappy's, so I can say whatever I want about anything, and I can leak all of the fun stuff that I've been given without fear of repercussion, because people don't remember things that happen in Eve anyways, right? So I can do all this and they'll forget later, right?
Are you a strong independent media outlet now?
Really, yeah.
And you don't need no man?
I do need...
He
definitely
needs a man, yeah.
Good morning, Vietnam.
Look,
And my heart is set on you.
look,
Like you've been doing all war.
I never lost a 14-bill pod. I most certainly am not Pappy Snowden. I don't know why anybody would think that. And
I called
furthermore...
that first day.
No. No. Nope.
Someone
No.
asked if I was.
So anyways,
No.
there is a poll going on in the chat. There's also a hype train, which apparently is a thing that happens sometimes. So I can't really see the poll to see who's winning, but it was who won World War B2. Because whoever wins that poll is gonna determine what I end up calling the war from now on. Because if Imperium won, then I have to call it World War B.
It's Vietnam.
It's Vietnam.
It's
It's
Vietnam.
Vietnam.
You guys
Finally,
decided the official name?
After a year, yes, after a year, Pandemic
Yes.
Legion touting that name, people are finally using it. Thank you. It's Vietnam.
It is Vietnam.
Okay, so you've coined it Vietnam. That is the official working title.
Some
of-
folks are born.
I saw the fucking post yesterday. Pappy won. They told me.
They said they
Nate?
won. Some
Said they
people
won.
said they won.
I wish them all the luck in the world. I mean, that was a beautiful place to live. I'm gonna miss it.
It's Vietnam and
no.
it's been approved by Mittens.
Can't we just call? Can we call
The
it
fuck
the
who's been approved
B?
by?
Napalm sticks to goons.
We call it the Bee of Pigs now after that slaughter.
Jeez, come on now.
Yes.
Anyways, we
analogy.
do have the Denkis leaks in town. They start dropping when the channel hits 500 viewers. I'm not gonna blow my load for nothing. Make it worth my fucking while. Thanks in advance. Anyways, I'm gonna throw this conversation out to the floor. Everybody who's here, because I want to hear what you guys have to say about how you feel. Mostly, I want to hear how Rain feels. Rain, how do you feel?
I really just want people to shut the fuck up.
Purple rain.
She was partying last night so loud I heard her here.
So I'll start off by saying, look, I'm Canadian, so I want a side of humble pie while I'm eating crow with ketchup. It's crow with ketchup for me,
Ketchup.
and humble pie on the side. But that's how I'm gonna do it. I'll take it all. I'm down with the loss. I'm not happy with it, but there's a winner and a loser, and yeah, we didn't do it.
I'm just proud that we were a fucking integral part in the loss of Pappy's loss. I mean, they claimed that this show was more important to their loss than all of the Imperium.
I don't really care about the outcome of the war. I'm just glad that I was proven right, that I wasn't bullshitting the whole time, and I feel vindicated.
You could have been wrong. There was a 50-50 chance.
You were bullshitting the whole time, though, Bill.
Nope.
Yeah, you
Turns
were.
out it wasn't, yeah.
Yeah, if you go back and check everything I said, Marius, I was pretty fucking honest the entire time.
I came to see Redline blow his load, and I've been told that I have to wait.
Yeah,
Well,
I know, right?
Oh, he's
You
a
don't have
tease,
to
isn't
wait.
he? He's a
You don't have to
fucking
wait
tease.
too much longer because, like I said, once we hit 500, I'm gonna start dropping leaks, and then it's gonna more leaks
Are you gonna drink a bottle of wine too?
every 100 viewers. It's gonna be one more set of leaks. Like
Somebody get him a
we're gonna
iPhone.
run it. We're gonna run it tonight.
Red
Is
line,
this how you
if
get?
you're
Is this how you're gonna get remotely close to what INN gets on just a single page?
Look, dude, that's not fair, and you know it. Because first off, I was never on the payroll for 30,000 people. Like other
Red
streams
line.
are on the payroll for 102,000 people.
Hey, we're at 420
Let's be
viewers. I
honest.
feel like that's good enough.
Yes, exactly. We are at 420 viewers, Redline. So
Oh,
can we get
450.
like a
Nice.
special 420 Blaze It dank leak, please?
Okay. Yeah,
Well,
sure.
Redline, I'm just gonna warn you.
Oh,
If you pull a disappointment thing on me, I'm gonna get you fired as an artist.
The artist formerly known as
And-
Redline.
And see what I'm scared of. What I'm scared of is that you can actually do that.
He can.
This is true.
You can actually do this, right? And I don't like that. So let me drop one of these leaks real quick. So I'm just gonna what these are all leaks from like secure channels within Pappy, within a certain alliance that was a part of Pappy and is now not. One of the big things that I see here is that when was this? This was June 26th, right? So this is in a channel that obviously I had access to, right? And it says that someone asks, and he's a very nice guy, he asks, can we look at doing things more regularly in EUTZ so Darkshines is less inclined to stay up past his bedtime? This would be advantageous. Another person says, or anything really, and a lovely Euro man with a spine of jelly says, we will be doing the opposite. On Tuesday, I'll be telling people to enjoy their summer. See you in the winter. Anyone who thinks Delve will progress any further is deluded. Do I have to post the screenshots? I mean, I can post the screenshots, but I don't really want to. I'll post them later, right? I'll post them later. Because you don't really need to see the screenshot. I just read the whole thing to you.
Just put them on your Patreon, man. Put them behind a paywall.
OnlyFans.
Look,
For
Yeah,
sure.
put it on the
Only
OnlyFans. I
links.
already have subs on that.
I understand that is not much of a leak, and you guys already knew that, right? You knew that already, which is why we're not at 500 viewers yet, right? And if we were, then I would give you the dank leaks. Okay? All right, let me put it on screen for you. I'll put it on screen for you. Give me just a second.
Requests for feet. Can you post those?
Your request for an image has been accepted. Okay, so here is leak 1. And that's right. The lovely people in the conversation were none other than Brother Bob, Blazing Bunny, and Vince Draken. If you guessed Vince Draken was the mystery guest, you were correct.
Now, the question is that Vince speaking for himself, or is he just echoing the words of the grand jellyback himself, Mr. Tremor?
Mr. Tremor. I don't know, dude.
I have other names for him, but they're not good for Twitch, so we'll
There we go. 501 Levi's.
Wait, what?
We're at 501 viewers.
No.
Dank leaks, Redline.
Are we?
Give it
Yeah.
Hand over fist.
Keep going.
I don't.
501.
I don't see it
Read
yet.
them. Read them.
I don't see
I'm
it
looking
yet.
right at it, Redline. No, 516.
520 now.
519. 520.
520. I can't see it going up.
I see 520.
One of the Imperium guys need to tell him, because if a Pappy guy says it's 520, he's just not going to.
Redline. It's 520. I'm in the Imperium. I'll be the
Wait,
guy.
is V logging in? Do we need to run?
No, but he's typing.
Oh boy.
God. Okay,
Mr. Tremor
all right,
already
I
just
see it.
jumped off his computer.
I see it. I see it. Okay. So here's another dank leak for you. So this one I can't actually post a screenshot of because it's an actual chat log, right? So this is another conversation with our friend Vince, and it says something along the lines of where is it? Let's see. So this is a conversation about sinners leaving NC, and it says let's see. So Bob says, so we're gonna quietly take ourselves with everyone well and move on following a unanimous corp. Save Nidispar. I reckon he'll get several at Nidispar fuck you, I can't say that word, messages and the such. And then he responds, sure, but you also fuck my entire exit plan for this war because you chose to fuck me behind my back like a little bitch, the very people you hate. And then he goes on to say that, let's see. And then he talks about standing down the alliance, accepting tests, inability, and lack of desire to try. And he says, I cannot right now pull us out with so many people off riding bikes. Imagine I say I'm leaving, Gobbins loses his shit, and our dudes are fucked in Delve 40 sinos from home. That is... wow. No, it is, because basically this is... So can you imagine Vince Draken scared of Gobbins? Can you imagine that?
I mean, he's been taking orders from Villy and PGL
I mean,
the whole war.
Who do you think runs PanFam?
All right, and
Yeah,
there's
obviously.
more. I'll give you another snippet, okay? In the beginning of this, it says, let's see. Oh, where was it? Bob, where was it? Is that in the second one? The part about fucking saying tests was useless?
I mean, that's just evident on the server.
Yeah, I mean that's been shown time and time again. I'll say it. Pappy was carried by Horde.
Okay.
They were.
So basically, what he says is something along the lines of, I told you 4 weeks ago, I need the summer to have enough time to run with the fuck test is dead narrative.
Yeah, so back in June, really May, and I guess we kind of had hints at this, right? But you never really trust anything Vince says, right? Because he's just generally dishonest. But his whole strategy has been passively abandon tests over the summer break thing, right? And pretend to go AFK. Well, Vince is AFK, so I guess he doesn't pretend. But basically, the Alliance goes AFK and leaves tests to their own devices. If y'all recall, about a month and some change ago, there was a little window there where, like a weekend, Test lost like 5 jump gates over like 4 nights. I think Sandra was in charge of holding down the walls, didn't do a very good job. But this was Vince's whole strategy. NC is going to go AFK, which by proxy forces the rest of Pappy to not be at full fighting strength. And then goons will slowly start coming out, which you'll see in some of those other chats in the red line, basically. people in CFCs pointed out, hey, if we take the summer off, isn't that going to encourage goons to, crawl out of 1DQ and start poking at things? And of course they are, right? I mean, of course they are. And then, I guess I'd heard it, but I never really connected until I had this last conversation with Vince. And he said his exit plan was literally to go AFK for the summer, come back. He was banking on Test failing. I mean, this was the great PanFam backstab in the sense that it was pretend to not care and then just blame it all on Test, which goes in with the public narrative that, Goons have been pushing that it's all Test's fault. So really, Vince is taking advantage of the opportunity because he doesn't want to try. He checked out after him too, back at the end of March. And if you haven't seen him, like in Fleet anywhere since the beginning of April or so. So, I mean, this was the plan all along. Go AFK the whole summer, keep his whole alliance here, all 4,000 of them and the rest of Pappy here, and not tell Gobbins, as you can see, based off what, the further messages, basically. Vince are just going to keep NC here, pretend to care for the summer, and then come back and say, hey, we're done. We're, I'm packing up, moving home. And as you guys know, they had a bunch of alliance announcements yesterday, right? Hey, 2-week withdrawal, everything, da-da-da-da-da. Well, NC has a move up home in 5 days on Sunday.
Oh, that was a secret,
leaving,
Bob. That was the 1,000 viewer leak, dude. You can't. Oh,
okay.
Oh God.
So
Oh,
NC's
fuck.
leaving, and NC is leaving in 5 days, guys. So those guys are gone, which means all these keep stars on anchor, you're gonna die. You're gonna lose 25% of your Titans.
So
they're
in
leaving.
the chat, so not P Steve said, and I linked I linked a private bin because Pastebin wouldn't let me post it because there's colorful language in it. But yes, that is exactly correct. So the plan in general was that Test was gonna get fucked by getting themselves killed over this summer, while NC just sat behind and joined little fleets here and there and did nothing. And then Test was going to be nowhere, leaving PanFam the uncontestable power outside of Goons, which is exactly what's happening anyway. The difference is that right now, the plan is for Test Alliance, not Legacy, just Test, to go and live in the drone region right next to these guys.
Legacy is supposed to come with us. Progod said in his announcement that Test Legacy would be making the move together.
Well, not Fed Up
Sounds
because
like
they're
some wishful
disbanding.
thinking.
Not AOM because they're staying where they are. Not Fire because they're staying where they are. So who else?
Wait, are you telling me that somebody lied?
No way.
No.
AOM isn't Legacy. AOM is AOM, and Fire is Fire. Like Test Legacy, ARP, Brave, we're all like the offer's there. ProGod said in his big announcement, which was streamed and all that, is that Legacy and Test are making the move together. We're one group.
So let me clarify. So if you were in Alliance, I heard that an Alliance was disbanding. I forget the name, but if you had an offer to go with Test, wouldn't you go with rather than disband? That seems logical. What's going on there?
Well, the idea is that, and this is what I've heard. This is Fed Up, right? Fed Up is the alliance you're talking about that's disbanding. I've seen people say that that instead of disbanding, they are going to actually merge into a corporation and join Test. So either way, and then Brave is also like taken out. They're gone. They're going somewhere else. Which props to them. Like that's amazing because when I saw Dunk say that Brave was going to be taking their own direction, doing their own thing, and going back to what made Brave great, I love that because Brave is about exploding spaceships, right?
Usually their own.
Which faction warfare group are they joining?
AOM is staying in Esoteria. They're not leaving, which more than likely they're going to be joining the Imperium, probably.
They're a speed bump.
They're a speed bump.
As a speed bump.
They are going to be.
Test is next.
AOM was being set up as like the rental income for Test. They were going to let them have a nice area to generate tax money for them, and then this war swung a different way than they anticipated, and now they're do they even know? Like They probably, if there's one of them
Wait a
watching the
second.
show,
Hold
they're probably
on.
like, "Wait, what happened?"
Okay, so just kidding. Just kidding. AOM's not joining the Imperium.
Nope.
Because the Matani's saying no thanks. That's amazing. All
So
right.
I will.
So anyways,
I will pretend
The Imperium is
to
not accepting new alliances. Fuck you, eat shit puppies.
No
I will
fucking mercy.
pretend to know why Fed Up is disbanding or changing
because who's
form or
gonna
whatever.
protect them?
But what I'm saying is right now their position in Fountain as or their position as the leader of the FAPI coalition or whatever the hell that is untenable. They can't defend Fountain.
Matani,
So
I know you're listening. Can we get a Matani drive-by? That would be amazing.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, come say it out loud. We know where to find the channel. or the
Mittens, get on
Discord.
here, bro.
It's the shitty one that you joined that one time.
But as far as the whole Fed Up situation goes, it's my understanding that most of their members are kind of done with EVE Online in general. Like they got their asses handed to them like 6 times by 6 different alliances in the past year and a half, and they're not about to get. They're saying that they're not about to get steamrolled by the Imperium as we take back things like Fountain and Quirius. They're not about to get into the middle of that while we're about to steamroll through all those regions again. So that's why
wise,
they're
'cause
kind
they would
of
get steamrolled.
exactly, which is
I
why
don't
they're
like-
kind of pulling out. Now, while they were pulling out, their leader just kind of said, whatever, I'm done with Eve anyway. So their alliance wanted to split up. Some of them wanted to join Test. Some of them wanted to go back to their roots. Others wanted to go to Losec and be with Snuffed. And so like they're kind of like having their own, I wouldn't say fail cascade, but everyone's just kind of breaking up and going in their separate directions as far as
Wait,
Fed Up is concerned.
hold up.
I don't
Is
really
Snuff
like-
going to accept anyone that was in Fed Up? I thought they had standards.
Snuff
They
has no
did.
standards.
Snuff
don't
has one
really-
standard, and it's that you're able to fly a super on an alt.
I don't like the
no.
term.
Well, that counts out most of Fed Up then.
Steamroll. Steamroll is kind of a like we're not steamroll. It's more like a Moab where we just like fucking blow everything up. Like Delve right now is like it just instantaneously combusted into a big ball of what the fuck. For
Bill, I'd like to add some
Delvers on
context.
fire.
I'd like to add some context to just real quick to the Fountain thing with Fed Up. Fed Up's the only group that even like possibly agreed to live there. Nobody wanted to go there, right? I mean, it's outside of Delta. It's not, like some groups wanted period basis or Quirius, right? Away from 1DQ. Understandably, granted, those guys still fed ratting supers repeatedly, which is mind-boggling in itself. Fed Up's the only group that wanted to go up there, and nobody in Pappy would fucking help them. Like, kill, they're mainly a USTZ group, and they just wanted some help killing some iHubs, some EU iHub. Nobody
Why did
helped
they
them at all.
want to live in Fountain
Because
anyway?
no one wanted them around, so they had to go find a fucking corner to hide in.
I think they wanted some place to pick up, because someone needed to have Y2, right? I mean, understandably, it makes sense. I'm not like the patch and saying Fed Up here, but they were basically offered to go there, and they were placed there by Pappy, and now Pappy's crumbling as of 30 hours ago. So they need to bounce.
Would you say that they're fed up with people treating them harshly?
Hold on, guys. We have to do an introduction. Hello,
Oh no,
Mr.
I'll be back in a
Matani,
couple
man.
seconds.
Oh
I
God!
still need to,
Fuck.
get some shit. I just got on the fucking Discord. I told you, I warned you, I was as high as balls. So I'll be back
You
in a
always
sec.
say that. You always say that.
It's because he's always high as balls.
He always is.
I
yeah.
mean, look, I've got to admit, the one thing I am jealous about America is the fact that you guys are progressive in that aspect, because we've still got a bunch of molding old pollies who won't even allow recreational and who are still trying to stamp down medicinal.
Kale, you say that like it isn't still illegal in most states and federally illegal here.
Piss off, Marius. I smoke it anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well,
You like
you're a
all the
braver man
drugs,
than
though.
most.
I'm wondering if Matani is gonna buy back his corpse from me, dude.
I'm sorry. We're not going to be honoring the Matani mute Pineco. So that's not going to be a thing that happens. So while he's getting his stuff ready, we do have another set of leaks that I can drop. Let me just find him here real quick.
750. Wait till
Okay.
Can I call him that nickname that Marius
750?
doesn't like?
750? We're gonna wait till 750.
Which one?
Okay.
Which one would that be, Gerg?
The Grand Wizard?
Oh jeez.
No, it's not just
No.
you not liking
Don't-
it. You
don't say
just
that.
can't say that.
Look, man, like, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but Tess has basically put forward through Tackley and stuff like that. Like, it was in the past, he fucked up, just let it lie. He did the crime, he did the time. Stop with the wizard hat bullshit.
I don't know if anybody else noticed that. I think it was Kel and Sandrin were the only ones who, like, when Billy and PGL went AWOL after the M2 thing. Like, the only FCs that Test had were Kel and Sandrin, and
me.
And Jeremy. Yeah, Jeremy.
750, bitch.
I cost your fighter SRP a pretty penny, buddy boy.
12 of us in Dominic's has nuked your 50-man fucking Ferox gang. Like, don't come at me, bro.
Remember that? I don't remember that.
I think it happened.
750, bitch.
Is it right now?
All right.
775
I'm ready
actually.
to have some bursts or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, give us some blurfs and stick around
I
afterwards.
don't know.
So
I
we
mean,
can have a chat.
actually, I ain't mad, right? Like, things are pretty chill over here.
I mean, you can't be mad. Like, you guys have already cracked open the rest of all your space
all at once for the last 13 plus months. Yeah, it's.
Why would you be mad?
Pretty big vibes, man. Pretty big vibes.
We're at the it's just business stage.
So how'd you do it, man? How did you defend against the entire rest of the universe?
Because fuck you, that's why.
That's fair. That's honestly fair.
Like, you have to understand that it's not like, I think one of the biggest advantages is we are fun. Like, again, I love this because the puppies can now get mad. You can get as mad at whatever the hell I say, and whatever, you can just blue the entire galaxy about it and try to exterminate my people and get me to quit, I guess. Like, it just doesn't fucking matter anymore. They took their shot, they failed. But the thing is that we are actually people. Like, a lot of the turbo nerds that were in charge of this thing, like hanging out here, you look around, you see a lot of people who are, I would describe as like Vegas crew types, right? Like, people who are interesting and socially adept enough to actually want to fly around the world to meet other EVE players who are, by definition, interested in the most competitive, complicated, and vicious game that humanity has of its kind, right? So one of the things that's always been funny to me is that, like, if you look at a lot of the people that are big players in this war, it was the people who weren't cool and didn't hang and didn't really come out to the more interesting part of the sandbox, right? At these Vegas events and things, we often end up hanging out with people in NC Dot, right? Because we've been killing each other for 15 fucking years, and you got a lot that you can drink beers over about it. That's why I always love hanging out with, like, Lady Scarlet whenever I see her, because we've got a lot in common after all of these years of trying to murder each other. And it's just kind of funny to me when, I think that if the turbo nerds, like the Gobbinses and the Villies, had actually gone out of their little towers or whatever it is, because I mean, it's like we're all a bunch of fucking dorks, right? Like, the important thing is, like, when I'm like, oh, the cool kids at Vegas or whatever, like, we're a bunch of fucking EVE players. I mean, just like, look at me whenever I'm on a fucking TV show. Like, I'm ridiculous. I understand it. We're all ridiculous. We're all fucking EVE nerds. It's great. So it's not like, ooh, coming out to Vegas is like a big deal. But I think that if the enemy leadership had more just emotional intelligence, social intelligence, had actually gone anywhere or done anything, if you take one look at the fucking Imperium and our crew, and you say, if you'd known us in the real world, and just from hanging out and going to things, and like, look at those guys and say, yeah, we should totally declare a war of extermination against this, because from a certain perspective, like, you could joke around about it, but in a lot of cases, one of the things that is interesting about Goonstorm and the Imperium is how many fucking active duty service members we have and how many veterans we have. It's a super complicated, like, it's not all this way, but for a lot of us in the Goonstorm thing, we've got 1,000-yard stairs, or just sort of like a PTSD support group in a lot of ways for a lot of our crew. I kind of, I don't think of it that way all the time, but again, you see our guys together at Vegas, you see the pictures of, like, the Imperium, like the crew. And when I say it's a tribe, if you've been part of it or you've seen it, it is an actual, like, sociologically speaking, I'm completely serious here. Like, there's not many things like it on the internet. I think it is a sort of a new thing. And this is me real talking here. I'm not being like super whatever. I don't think there are many things out there on the internet yet that are like the Imperium, right? It's more tightly bonded. There's more of a shared community. There's now a long enough history and multiple generations of people that have, in some cases, grown up literally within this community. And one of the things that I know from having watched my enemies spend the last 13 months, like, things will come out, but big surprise, Pappy has been absolutely and thoroughly owned from like a metagame perspective. We'll get into that as the weeks come out and it's safer to release and declassify various things. But like, I read these guys talking to each other, and one of the most important things that I get from the FC channels of our enemies is it's a bunch of pickup guilds, right? Like it's this very weak group, weak tie. I don't mean like weak as in bad people. There are definitely bad people who are weak in there. I don't want to be dodging the insult opportunity, but I mean like weak social ties versus strong social ties. And so in many cases, like oftentimes fighting Pappy reminded me of like, I thankfully ducked out of World of Warcraft before this was a thing, but like, like imagine like doing a 40-man molten core raid with like a pickup group or something, like just an absolute like a pub group in a fucking super complicated like old school raid system. And that's kind of, it was just the biggest confederation of pickup guilds ever assembled in the history of online gaming, thrown against an entity that I believe, and of course I could be just huffing my own farts, but on the other hand, we conquered the fucking galaxy, so whatever.
Let me interrupt you for a second because I want to ask you.
Sure.
So you say that it's a collection of pickup guilds, and I can see that because it's literally everybody else, people who are enemies literally a couple weeks before declaring war and going down south. Do you think if it was a coalition that was together for even longer, like a proper blue donut that had inhabited space and worked together for years, do you think that would have been a threat, more of a threat?
Well, unfortunately, I mean, your hypothetical is a reasonable question, but it's give me a second.
The fucking burp.
It's a reasonable question, but basically the reason why that can't happen, and so why it's just sort of an irrelevant question. I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but like one of the things that you have to understand about why Pappy stuck together for so long, but also could never really work together with each other, is these people all came to the table with independent grudges against one another and very competing interests. And what they were pitched upon was the idea of, hey, we believe the Olmeca Gold Kool-Aid drinker version of the Imperium does not understand social dynamics, no emotional intelligence, doesn't realize that it's a sociologically fundamentally different entity. It's sort of like an internet tribe thing, not just an internet spaceship guild. But they bought into the easy bullshit because it's easier to look at Goonswarm and the Imperium and say, "Grr, dumb goons, me smart, FC man, Mittani man bad," whatever drooling public bullshit that these people use to, not have to confront difficult questions. And so you saw a lot of this in that, like, you're trying to have a coalition where you're asking fraternity and army of mangoes who don't give a rat's ass about the Imperium or Goonswarm and never have, and you're asking these guys to work together against the Imperium for an indeterminate amount of time. And they hate each other, like they fucking hate each other. And that's something that I think that a lot of the more like sort of mid-level like wannabe like cool kid FC types don't really understand, is because if they're more personally interested, they might have personal grudges with each other, but they don't really understand like what a tribe on tribe blood feud is. And one of the things that I think a lot of people miss when they're whining about bots or whatever, when they're talking about like the Chinese community and tranquility, is that like, there is a fascinating multi-year blood feud going on. But people were bots, whatever. But anyway, so the Pappy people all got together and they thought like, well, we're just gonna work together to kill the goon. And that Villy said repeatedly, and I believe that, like, I believe them. I believe the dumb things that they said that they believe, about goons in the Imperium, right? Like, because their strategy is consistent with their dumb assumptions. Like, goons are going to leave. The goons are all crabs, and we're going to, the moment we hit Delve, 30% of them are going to go away. And it's amazing. Like, this is stuff literally, like, I don't know if you guys, has everybody here read Empires of Eve Volume 1 and 2 by now?
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, open your fucking hymnals, right? And, like, why, if any of these motherfuckers had actually just cracked a book and tried to understand what goes into the making of something like the Imperium, they would have never signed off on it. But they were also idiots who were sold a good time by Pro God Legend and Manny and whatever, and they believed, like, we actually called the fucking casino thing off because after CO2 flipped sides, it was clearly over. And it was also by that point obvious that CCP had been intervening in that war in a way that I really didn't like when, Ned Coker went up there and named the whole thing World War B because of puppies sucking each other off on Twitter. And fuck you all who were behind that, by the way.
What's the name of this war, Matani?
I think we're going to do Vietnam. That's what the hive
Thank
mind
you.
was saying. I
that
was
was
kicking
the thing.
around like Second Great War, but it's actually just kind of lame. And Vietnam actually lines up with a lot of the different phases of the war. So, I mean, this is a normal thing. Like during the Great War itself, we didn't actually call it the Great War. During the Great War, we called it, the first phase was the first Great War, and the second phase was the second Great War. And then a few years later, we just lumped the whole 3-year fuck fest and then the IT stuff after it into this sort of broad heading of the Great War. But I think Vietnam is, because I mean, it kind of fits, right? Like you have this inept agglomeration of a variety of imperial powers getting involved with a fundamentally like local nationalistic war against people that they really didn't understand. Like, the French and the Americans really didn't spend a lot of time going, why are these people fighting? Why are they still fighting against us? And then, what we did on a lark a couple of weeks ago really got me thinking as a good metaphor for the Tet offensive, right? So like we went into T5ZI a couple of weeks. I don't know, it was like 2 weeks, 3 weekends ago, something like that. Time is a fucking blur.
Yeah.
When was that?
It was about that, yeah.
Yeah, so like we went in there and we just started torching shit because these people had just been broken after however long, and then we left, right? Like there was no way we were going to follow up on it, but I think it had sort of the same impact as the Tet offensive did in the Vietnam War, where they got all the way shooting up the embassy, right? Like it's bad, it's real bad. Like you can see that the VCBs are coming for you and they can touch your stuff, and the containment narrative is not working, and the rice fields are fucking alive with goons. And also, one of the founding gimmicks in the Great War, one of the first real gimmicks that we had when Bob invaded us in July of 2006 in Syndicate. This was sort of the birth trauma of Goonswarm. And you can't really understand Goonswarm unless you understand like the level of nerd rage that was involved on all sides. But anyway, these motherfuckers come into Syndicate and they're going to camp us in our fucking stations or whatever and jack themselves off and sign their posts DBP, just like Villy is a fucking wannabe DB preacher.
Well, thank you.
He's a fucking wish.com DB preacher. Oh, or Villy, are you here? Eat shit, by the way.
I mean, he is here. So
Yeah,
I mean,
the Turbo
if
Nerd has
we-
been here this whole time.
Good,
Listen.
I hope that you suffer and are appropriately humiliated. Anyway.
Listen, my boy, listen. So, well done. You guys fought a good war. You're in the position where you've effectively won at this point, although it's not finished yet. But so, well fought. That leaves you in the position to talk the shit. So, that's only fair.
I think I was on the fucking
Hey, good
Vietnam War.
fight.
I don't give a shit about Mr. Fourth Place. I was going somewhere with the Vietnam analogy.
Where
Well,
were you
here's the real
going? with
question:
this?
Are the Viet Cong going to invade America at this point?
Yeah. So basically, here's how this is going to work, right? We are all collectively in a pretty interesting time. Like, as you can see, I'm just sort of blazed as shit and watching how the cards fall because, one of the things that I enjoy so much about Villiers Cascades is the circular firing squad part, which is when you put enough pressure on the baddies that they finally crack. and then all of the secrets that they had been sort of keeping within start spilling out because somebody was like, oh, I'm going to leak this, or I'm going to leak this, or people are trying to pin the blame on the donkey. It's funny. This is I was watching a robot cartoon the other day. I'm not going to call it an anime because anime is cartoons. So I was watching a fucking Gundam cartoon, and there was some sort of space drama line about everyone in authority is responsible, but none of them want the responsibility or whatever. It's like they're all equally responsible, but they're all dodging the responsibility, and that sort of sums up.
Weeb.
So
hey man, you can call me funny names all you want, but come invade me about it.
Hey, real quick sidebar question: who's running Eve Vegas this year?
I think Hybrid and Crew. Yeah.
All right, cool.
So let's bring it.
Elvis
Let's bring it
Goons,
back
anime
to
is cartoons.
Let's bring it back to more Eve things like the Vietnam. I don't understand Vietnam references because I don't do history. But
This is like
and then the red line cries in
you can't
public.
talk about fucking sociology and shit, even though like that's one of the most fascinating aspects of the game. Like one of the biggest reasons why you motherfuckers keep losing wars is every time I watch these like baby men out there sending like 40 fucking pings. Like I can tell you this now because it's too late. But by the way, there is a ratio between how much you can ping, how many asses you get in a fleet from that ping, and how much entertainment value those people receive. And strategically speaking, now again, you have done completely fucked this up for the last 14 months. So I'm just going to rub it in your faces because you deserve
Yes,
it.
because it's not like we stuck you into 5 systems or
like,
anything and burned you out of 3 regions. Yeah, we fucked
Well,
up. Really bad.
oh baby, did I just trigger a little toxic?
I
think you going to Eve Nola?
You're not toxic when you say it. I'm just saying, you claim that you were an absolute mastermind, the biggest super group, the biggest people. We got you in 5 systems, bro.
You're one of Suis's boys. You're the little Suis, of course.
My
of course.
response to that,
Little
Kale,
cluster B
is-
action.
Yeah, man. I'm the 40 ping man, as you called me. The weed TZ. We fucking fought. Yeah, our comms died like yours did. I can still hold my head up high, man. I fucking fought.
I don't care whether you. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
You don't care because guess what?
I mean, if you're going to criticize people on sending multiple pings, you alone are one of the worst perpetrators of that. There's been multiple fights where you've sent.
Fucking hilarious.
Are
It doesn't
you
matter.
seriously going to try on the one hand? Like I wanted to talk about like Vietnam and sociology and like the ping rate. Like I was actually giving you dumb motherfuckers an actual piece of real strategic and leadership advice.
Oh my
and
God.
you
Sure
are
you are,
so desperately trying to cover the fact that you are again responsible for the biggest and most humiliating loss in the history of internet slap fights yet to happen.
But guess
in the
what?
course
What
of
did I
human
just do
history
not
so
30
far.
seconds ago? What did I do not just 30 seconds ago?
This is what
I
happens when you have a
said,
channel full of
well
people like
fought,
this,
because
and
I
you
am
just end
more
up
than
a bunch
acceptable.
of screaming nerds.
Dude, like I know you're
This
not used
is
to anybody
adorable.
talking over you. I know you're not used to being in a position where you don't control the show, but let's be clear.
Oh, I'm very.
See, unwilling to stop talking. See,
Look at this.
unwilling to do the nervous laughter when somebody talks. So let's just talk for a second. Let's be real.
Ooh.
I am more than see, unwilling.
My name is Villy. My name is Villy. I declared
thought
a
you were the
war of
mittens, but okay.
extermination.
I mean, listen, mate. I'm trying to be professional here. I'm trying.
So I get the whole
Nobody
like
cares.
I get
Actually,
the whole
guess they do, which is
sociopath
hilarious,
shtick.
Yeah.
But like how
Shut
do
up,
you
Marius.
form a cult of personality around a guy that goes "Lu-lu-lu-lu-lu-lu-lu" like this? Like I don't
Like
get it.
no, Marius, let's not take away from the point here. So he made the claim a few seconds ago that I am unwilling to take
I
responsibility for
don't
the
give
war.
a shit about your claims. It doesn't matter.
No,
how
you
many
just said a
you've
lie,
lost.
so I
We're
wanted to
gonna-
call you on it.
oh,
Yes,
whatever.
dude,
You're
we
gonna
lost.
debate me like Ben Shapiro?
No, dude,
This is
I'm literally just
adorable.
gonna call you out on
Matani
lies.
blown out of Trash Talk Tuesday. Villy destroys arrogant Emperor.
You know,
That's
like
his-
if
oh,
you're gonna
man,
make the
whatever.
Ben Shapiro comparison, like
Marius.
he's
Shut
known
up, Marius.
for
Not
just
in real
talking
life.
straight over
Adorable.
Shut
people.
This is so cute.
Not
You
in real
think
life.
you
Realize
think you can debate this? Like you think you can argue about this little points of you said this then, you said this that, whatever.
Mate,
It
I'm merely
doesn't
making the
matter.
point that you're entirely unwilling to let. See, every time someone attempts to call you on even the most remotely wrong parts of your narrative, and don't get me wrong, there's plenty of parts that are correct. But anytime somebody calls you out on stuff, usually you
because I
go
don't
to
owe you
see
shit,
you're
bitch.
unwilling to, and I don't owe you anything either.
I'm absolutely unwilling to engage because you don't deserve
So at this
me to
point, the
engage you in
host
good faith.
is going to have to make a decision if he
You have
wants to let
failed.
one
You're a
person talk
piece
for the
of
rest of the
shit.
show or
You
not.
have annoyed
talking
enough
over each
people,
other.
and
I
this
am-
is what you got.
Hold
Or
on.
close out when you
One
talk
sec,
over
I'm
dude.
each
not
other.
going to engage your frame, dude. I'm sorry. Your frame
I
sucks
am
as a lot.
more
on
than
top of the
happy
host.
to have like cool conversation and also like flinging shit at each other. But bro, if you're gonna fling shit at him, you gotta let him fling shit at you. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. I mean, you had your moment, you got your shine, you got your herfs to blurf. Because a lot of people came on here just to simply eat crow. So if you want them to eat crow, you gotta let them eat it. You know what I mean? Oh, he
Well, I
left.
kind of was here
Oh, he didn't
mainly
leave.
to
Here.
talk about like sociology, and I didn't actually expect to set off like the nerd storm when I was saying the like I was actually surprised that they got so mad when I was talking about the ratio of pings. Like I thought that was just kind of we're talking about like shop talk, right? Like
Trash talk
here's how the
show.
actual like alliance stuff is done.
A
Trash
show
talk.
called Trash Talk Tuesday.
It's called
Well,
trash.
I don't
Not
think.
about anything.
Hey man, you guys begged me to be here. I turned up as
So,
a favor. I can
I
take
don't
off now.
think. I don't think anybody's like triggered. I mean, maybe Kale might have been just a tad bit triggered.
Oh,
But
no.
the thing is like you're getting an opportunity to talk to this person that you haven't had on a show in over 14 months because he's been your enemy. Like, why not take it? Why not let him say what he's got to say, and then you can fuck him up on it? I mean, it seems
can I
like
answer
a
that,
win-win
Red
to me. No, Marius, you can't,
Like
'cause
I
I'm not
won.
asking
Like
you.
I don't. I big dogs don't need to bark. Like
You
it doesn't
didn't
fucking
win.
matter.
What do you
Oh, that's
mean
right.
we
That's right.
didn't
In
win?
the test, I forgot. Delve is safe. Goons are contained, and I heard in the aftermath of the fucking test disaster thing that you know that good luck with it. Good luck with it.
Garg, is that
I'm
what the
sure
mentioned
3 or 4 people
over
are gonna
on
believe it.
Talking to Stations? Is that what the matter I was told you? Is that we lost?
I mean, we did do a Twitch
No.
poll, and the Twitch chat decided that, I'll do a poll again. The same exact poll. We're going to do a new poll. Who won? And I'll call it Vietnam just because that's fucking, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Look, I've got to give it
But
to
it's not
Matani. He's pretty
over.
good at turning a phrase. Like, that shit's fucking glorious. I
Very
like
good
it.
at controlling
I'm really
the
curious
conversation.
To ask you, Matani, do you think that this war was winnable at all, or do you think it was kind of a children's crusade from the start? If you know what I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, I don't want to take too much credit on the Imperium side. I don't mean for myself. I mean on our side. Like one of my sayings is wars are lost by the loser, not won by the winner, right? And like we did some amazing things, but in a lot of cases, especially when you're fighting the entire fucking galaxy all at once for more than a year, hell wars are a game of holding your shit together and your people together and fixing stuff that breaks better than the other guy, and hoping that their organization starts breaking down before yours. And so there's definitely defining moments where you need to win and you need to be better than the other guy and you outplay them. But there's also situations, especially when stuff gets bad, like recently, where you're just going along doing your thing and stuff just starts. I often use the brick and a dryer analogy. And sorry guys, like I know it is Trash Talk Tuesday, but I like I said, I'm high as balls and I actually came here and started doing sociology nerd stuff. So you're not really getting like meta show, Vince McMittens, like Herf Blurf. Like I don't argue with people like the ones that are trying to argue with me because at a fundamental level, I just don't care. Right. Like it's like one of the things that a lot of you guys here don't get is in many cases you're just risks to be mitigated, right? Like it doesn't, like the names change a little bit, but the patterns of behavior of insecure mid-level FC looking to try to make a name for himself on any talk show he can get on. I mean, none of you even know who I'm talking shit about here because it's a pretty standard pattern that repeats itself constantly. And I've been doing this for 15 years. And one of the things that's kind of fun for me is that I can just come out and like just lay it out. And it's kind of frustrating actually from like an existential perspective to be like, kind of like screaming in the darkness. Cause I'm like, here's what the humans are doing. Here's how it works. Here's how this is. Here's how that is. And then people are just like Pretending man bad. Because I think it's a defensive mechanism, because like if people had actually cracked a copy of Empires of Eve or Empires of Eve like 2 and you read the book, why on earth would anybody declare a war of extermination against Goonswarm? It's like historically, officially, and just sociologically, one of the dumbest things you could possibly do.
So
like we would have
totally
been in a much deeper shit. Like I wouldn't have been able to blow the horn of Gundor. I wouldn't be able to make half the moves I was able to make if it wasn't for the fact that this dumbass here, and it wasn't even Villy. Like Villy had the opportunity to walk off the War of Extermination thing, because I think Progod was the dumbass, or Progod or Manny, I don't know which one it was. But he towed the party line and he herfed those blurfs in Polygon, and we have been hanging you guys justifiably with it ever since, because that's the side you chose and that's what you get. But
so you're good at analyzing things. I've known that for years. Play as long as you've met you many times. Okay, here's an opportunity for a question. Looking into fights, you analyze things you're really good at. Any opportunity that Pappy had to win, or is it just a series of small wins inside of a loss of war, kind of like Vietnam was? Was there an opportunity to win ever?
I don't know. The thing is that if you would ask me that question, or like to answer it fairly, and I'm going to try to do like a real answer on this. Again, sorry, you got the serious business nerd mittens, not like trash
Yeah,
talk.
that's why I'm asking you.
So I know things now, obviously, that I didn't know at the start of the war, or things like that, or like we would get pieces of information to confirm things that we'd known a few months ago, and we're constantly updating our predictive models of how these nerds work, such that we can deal with their nonsense. And something like the Pappy Snowden leaks, like where for me, that Vespiary thing was like the fucking holy grail, right? Like that was like, national treasure, like the secret Freemason, whatever, of like, because Manny's a fucking loser and he runs from failure and he creates failure, and I love him because he's great. Like he's one of the greatest allies Gunstorm has ever had, because he creates so much value for us, because he's such a piece of shit. And like, to find out that the whole dumbass thing originally was like a Manny plan to have us invade them. And I don't know if you guys read it, but it was a beautiful fucking document, because it's like, oh my God, like they need to fall back defensively. They need to, like, Manny basically wrote out a Fabian strategy for Pappy in a scenario where they fought the complete opposite war, right? Like it was amazing to find that. But I didn't know any of that shit at the time. Looking back with what I know now, right? Like with what I believe to be a mostly complete picture, right? I think that everybody was kind of doomed from the moment that everybody signed on to a crusade that was led by people with a very big track record of failure and fuck up, right? Like,
So speaking
if
of
it was a
record,
PanFam led event, like if PanFam had gotten this thing together and started it off, like if Vince, I know you guys talk a lot of shit about Vince, but like of the leaders in Pappy, I would point to say, if Vince had gotten this together and planned it with Vince as the number one guy, and whatever. I mean, I think everybody just assumed we're gonna have an easy time to beat the Goon, and that's one of the reasons why it was so fucked up. You didn't do your research. You guys didn't understand us. You still don't understand us, and so I believe, knowing now what I know, I think that Pappy was fucked from the moment that they signed off on a plan led by Progod legend Villy and Manfred Sidious, backed up by Gobbins. Like the thing is that most of these guys have had experience in Hell Wars, but the experience they've had in Hell Wars are like being kind of either the co-pilot or the guy like riding shotgun. Like they were people who were helping out, they were participating, they were involved. But like, Piggles has sort of always been around, what's the phrase? Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. And like in this war, you really got a chance for some of these guys to actually get their hands on the levers of, driving the fucking block. Villy and Piggles got their way into Test. and Elf Boy ended up being in charge of stuff because Headliner kind of ran PL into the fucking ground. And so, you know, the Children's Crusade analogy is kind of there because it's like a bunch of guys who, you know, had no understanding of how the vehicle worked, but they were doing their best.
Mr. Mitani, I have to stop you because I need to give more leaks.
Okay. Are you leaking stuff?
Yes. Yes, I am. As soon as I get them more. Bob is supposed to have more leaks for me, and we need a 1K leak special. Bob, what do you got for me? You got something you can send me right now? Oh, no, he's not even here. God damn it. I'm sure he's looking for leaks. Anyways, so your short answer was that there was no chance for Pappy to win. Villy, how do you feel about that?
I mean, in hindsight, obviously, you can say that. I truly kind of believe that M2 was very much kind of a black swan, like M2 Part 2 was very much kind of a black swan event in the way it kind of transpired, and definitely played a pretty significant role in the way the war came out. But maybe he's not wrong. Like, I don't know. Like, in the end, I had a lot of ideas about how things would go when we got to that kind of final constellation or that final thing, and how our ability to take it would go. I truly believe that if we had more gas in the tank and more supers, you know, not having been reimbursed, that we would have been in a better position. But maybe there's a case that he's right. Like, it's hard to say, but
I have a serious question here. Where was your single point of leadership? Where was your campaign command?
I want to know
your unified vision.
I want to know what happened. I want to know what happened to the cache of 100 Titans that all of Pappy claimed they had.
We used it. M2 Part 1.
Villy, talk about the campaign commander issue and the vote that happened. Then I'll walk back. It's fucking over. It's better coming from you than, you know.
Let's be clear here. You know I can't talk about that.
Well, I'll talk about it if you don't want to.
Let's.
Caleb, shut up, Caleb. Let Bob talk.
What the fuck did I do?
That's
Oh, not Caleb. Whichever one of you.
It was Dirk.
Come in and talk over.
Silence Europeans.
Bob, talk.
Well, obviously somebody has to be in charge, right? So there was a meeting held back in November, and you know, all the hefes of the main Pappy alliances. Basically, hey, somebody's got to be in charge. Someone has to make the decision. Hey, we're gonna fight. We're gonna not fight. Kind of line out the daily objectives and goals for the campaign. This is in November. It just got an NPC delve, got an T5. Goons still had iHubs. They had Keep Stars. There's a lot of fighting all over the region still. So there was a vote. Somebody nominated Headliner. Okay, you know, reasonable choice. Very long time, effective, popular Strat FC. Everybody voted yes. I mean, is that correct, Billy? Everybody voted yes. Can you confirm that at least? Okay, can you confirm nobody voted no?
I plead the fifth. Sorry.
Everybody voted yes. Headliner should be campaign commander. And I didn't. I mean, I'm not like the, you know, guardian angel or patron saint of Headliner. Everybody voted, yeah, Headliner's the guy. Well, the next day, certain FC, just one FC, and a small alliance in the group. This is Goons, you know, as Ajax 33, Incy knows him as Netisfar. Goes and messages a couple Pappy leaders, hey, I can't work with Headliner. I can't listen to him. Can't trust him. He can't be in charge. And so everybody that had ceded strategic command for their whole alliance and Titan fleets and everything to Headliner, it got walked back because of, you know, one guy's ego. And to the discredit.
Clear, Bob, what you're saying is that you had this single leadership position. You had this organization that everyone will work upon this strategy according to this person. And it was not adhered to because people couldn't trust their Titans to.
No, that's not correct.
Correct. One person objected after saying yes. One person came back the next day. It wasn't even an alliance leader. It was just the main FC, head FC, whatever title you want to give him. And the AFK alliance leader, in this case, Vince Draken, instead of saying, hey, we need to fucking coalesce, one person needs to be in charge, just fucking let it happen. Also, and since November, there's been no unified campaign commander. It's been whoever's been online.
Also, somebody just said that was not the case. I mean,
just part of the way. Like it wasn't about people trusting each other with supers. It was
No, one guy's
What
ego.
was
You
it
haven't listened to the
about,
headliner.
Wait a second. Sorry,
They're
Bob.
telling me it was egos.
Wait. They almost voted a headliner to run it?
He was voted. Yes.
Headliner's a great FC, and he was more than capable of running the strategic element of the campaign. You can laugh.
Oh my god, you almost
I'll-
put headliner in at the start? Was it like at the
I'll
very
let
start?
Mittens-
This is in November.
November.
I'll let Mittens giggle in his own thing. I just want to be clear about this. You guys voted somebody in to be the primary leader, the guy who would orchestrate strategy, and then you refused to listen to the guy who you voted to orchestrate the strategy.
One FC from
I don't think that's what he
NC
said. Yeah.
No, that's
Right.
not what he said at all.
He's saying
Yeah,
that Ajax 33, aka Nidaspar, aka Terrified of Mr. V, decided that there would not be that headliner would not be the guy, which is weird.
I
because
love
they're
how
so
Dirk
good,
always
but-
tries to straight line.
It wasn't
just
a Dirk
horrible at
decision.
it.
Why did you not find somebody to head this thing?
It didn't start like it, I don't.
the
I don't think this is
strategy?
actually
You should
their
just stop
fault,
there.
right? Like I'm gonna actually say nice things about Pappy for a second. If you give me a little chance here, I'll try not to take 15 minutes. Hold on. Like this is. It's kind of like frogs getting boiled slowly, right? It's crabs in a bucket. Like this is like the organization began as a council, and there are actual like important like knock-on effects from like initial founding cultures and initial founding, like the setup that you begin something with. And so Pappy got started as a council, and we've seen big councils in EVE Online many times before, right? They remember the original Northern Coalition, all that Gins tab shit, right? Like some of you were in there, right? So once a council gets going, it becomes a runaway bureaucracy. And if you're in a situation where you're having to try to vote and agree on having a person who is put in charge, that person isn't really in charge because it's actually just like, Razor had tons of like troika council bullshit. It just basically like once the thing began as a council, especially a council that was mostly idiots from test or also rans from previous wars who had fucked everything up before, like a big track record of failure with not Villy. Actually, I would not say that Villy was part of the track record of failure before this. He is now. But like
I have earned it now, yeah.
But but Manny and Pro God Legend, not so good. But as a council system, it's hard to uncouncil a council, right? And what I think in many ways, it just became this just sociologically, just this big avalanche of fucking puppies. And it got so big that every time something tough happens, once the council gets too big, you can always find somebody else to blame. And again, that's the thing of all of them are responsible, but none of them want the responsibility. And the structure makes it very easy to dodge accountability. It also results in situations where they're pointing fingers at each other constantly, and they're always mad at each other. Because the system cannot work anyway. So that's my explanation.
No, I think you're very dead on that, Mitani. Unfortunately.
So, who gets the Matani seal of approval to run the campaign for Pappy? Who do you think would have done the best job?
Oh Jesus Christ! What a fucking question.
Obviously, it's Jeremy.
Clearly, Shattered Armor. I mean, that guy's a genius.
Nah, Suis. Should have given it to Suis.
Wait, why don't you like Headliner? Haven't you guys talked at like Eve meets before? You guys are both always at Vegas.
Being rivals in game is not the same as being. I just died. Sorry.
You died?
Rest in
Yeah,
peace.
somebody
played tabs.
History
Five
tells
systems.
you. We're on a big history kick tonight, right? But history tells you a coalition of individual free societies can come together and fight against a common enemy, right? NATO versus
you guys
G7
fucking
versus,
started it. You
versus
started
Russia,
it.
right?
You
But if
started
you don't
it.
do it right, failure is huge. But it could go either way. It could have gone either way. It went this way, and this is where we're at, and it didn't happen. And I think the point you made, and Dirk tried to draw a straight line, really is actually very fair. As a person inside, not at Villy's level, certainly felt that disorganization at various times and in various ways, for sure.
So before we dive deeper into that, I just want to make sure everybody knows, like, everybody's already entered into the giveaway, but like you didn't know what you were entering in for, and it's the skin that's on the screen. It's the new Abaddon skin. It's fucking sick. I'm gonna pick
The new
4
Abaddon
winners.
skin is very great.
I'm gonna pick 4 winners, so make sure you type ! Raffle. There's like 1,000 of you and 245 entries. Like, you're fucking missing out, I swear to God.
God.
This war, it didn't seem like Pappy really like thought 3 or 4 steps ahead. It was more like you had a target and you just threw ships at it, and then you may have had a secondary target, or maybe even a tertiary, but it was more like a 24 to 48 hour period. I don't know if that was like a breakdown.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true.
I agree. No, I agree with Bill, but I also think a lot of it was not only did Pappy have this kind of streamlined tunnel vision, what they wanted to do and how to get there, but us as the Imperium, our quick responses to things really threw Pappy off. Like with M2, when the server went offline with M2 and the battle was still going on, the first thing that was said in Mumble when the servers came back up was get sabers, get them in the places that the Titans have been in the past 13 hours. Like, that quick thinking of the Imperium and the quick thinking of people like Asher and Jay and everybody else, that really
I
wouldn't
call
us
it quick.
the
I'm
edge.
gonna interrupt you because that's not how it happened. The sabers were in all the dictors and the bubbles and stuff were already there.
And I'll be honest, that was not surprising at all. Like, that was 100% expected from you guys.
I just look at this game as more of a strategy game than a spaceship fucking simulator. Like,
yeah, I would
It's a
agree with you.
galaxy simulator. It's not
I would
just
agree
a
with
fucking
you.
spaceship game.
Yeah. I'd agree with you, but disagree with you on your time frame. I agree. The time in which they had objectives wasn't 12. It wasn't 12, 24, 48 hours. It certainly wasn't that short. But it certainly felt strained when you start asking, "What are we doing 2 months from now? What are we doing 3 months from now? What's real? What do you think is going to happen in 6 months? What's Plan A, Plan B, Plan C for 6 months out?" And at least push down to the rank and file. Maybe at the higher levels they had a plan like that, but it wasn't apparent. And if you don't make certain things apparent, it's hard to have all those people follow the path. At one point, we had, correct my numbers, please, but like 35,000 pilots versus 25,000, something like that, right? It's hard to herd 35,000 fucking cats, right?
Rundle, I'm gonna have to.
It's especially hard to do that herding over 10 or 15 different alliances, right? Like,
right.
That's always part of the problem of larger groups versus
Yeah,
a singular large entity.
Much less 100, right?
I mean,
well, it was never really 100, right? But
103, you're right. 103 fucking alliances, dude. And one of the reasons why
let's be
this was
honest.
doomed
Let's
to
be honest.
fail from the beginning was because you sent fucking Piggles. No, you didn't send him because, unfortunately for Pappy, none of you can control him. But that's Piggles. Is the dude can't stop running his mouth, and this is coming from me, who never stops running his mouth, right? So,
Fair enough.
you couldn't,
Fair enough.
we got word of this. Like, this is one of the reasons why you guys were fucked from the start. Is like, now, I mean, to be fair, things could have gone hellishly wrong, and like we could have faltered, we could have failed, like if we didn't keep our shit together better than you guys kept your shit together. But whatever. But the thing is, like, the process of forming Pappy created this tremendous inertia, and that's really what got the council thing going from the beginning. And it also meant that we, you cannot contact. Like, one of the things that I hope to disclose more cool stuff about later once we can declassify things, mainly so we can brag on our guys and show what was really going on behind the scenes, is we got to use all of our spy agency, all of it, against you guys, every single bit, and that ruled. Anyway, sorry, if there's more leaks.
No, that's
please
cool.
Interrupt me for leaks at any point. I don't want to get in the way of the circular firing squad.
If you have extra links you want to throw in the fire, Matani, throw them out, man.
We will all beat Matani about leaks.
I'm looking forward to hearing about the spy shit. It's always
Matani,
fun.
do you think
regardless of what side I'm on.
Mr. Matani, man, do you think you'd give us one leak? Just one? After Bob's leak? Just one leak. One little one.
I mean, war's over, right?
Come on.
So, like,
I mean,
why not?
I'm high as
What's
fuck,
not
dude.
over?
I just came in here randomly because I was watching people.
Schrodinger's Mitani.
No, really.
Eloquent
Like, who just
when he has a
turned
point to
out
make.
and-
Like one of the
High
things
as
is
fuck
like
when he has
it's
something to
the war
prove.
was over?
a professional thing, right? Like you don't just like casually. Like I wouldn't just casually leak. Like you have to sanitize the logs and make it like there's a process to this shit at a professional level. So
Who said
okay, well,
the
none of
war
us
was
are
over?
professionals,
Right
so-
there.
The war is not over.
I want to know who said the war was over.
It's
Everybody
me,
says
Somebody
asshole.
said
You
it.
know
dude.
that I said it. The
Well, you're
war is
wrong because
fucking over.
no, it's not. It's just
I
beginning.
actually did not know that it was you who said the war was over, Marius. If I'd realized that, I would not have treated it with half as much seriousness as I am treating it right now.
Fuck up, Marius.
But do you really want to say the war is over when we're coming for you?
I mean,
Well,
floodplains, right?
No, is this a second
I
war?
don't know if this has
Whoa,
been
whoa, 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 whoa!
discussed.
So, Dirk,
but
are you're
this is
saying
where we're
that?
at.
Whoa, you're saying that you're coming for people? Could you clarify how far you're coming?
Go
Well,
ahead and
you're going to be
come.
hiding on Pappy's or on Horde's couch, so we'll come there.
Go ahead and come. I'd love to see you coming.
I'm coming right now, Gregorian, hearing you fucking cry.
Jesus Christ.
Stop the family.
All right.
Yeah, I thought
Like,
This
the
is a
fact that I've
family
been in
show
this
for
server
stuff?
for 3 days, hearing you guys bitch and moan about how you've won because you put us in 6 systems, and the response is, so fucking what? So
You said that
fucking what?
already. You said that
limp fucking dicked Tengus immediately ate shit, and while you were still eating shit on a gate, while I was waking up at 8 in the morning, lovely wake up time, by the way, highly recommend it, you were unanchoring keep stars, and you had your fucking line members go, oh, they're just moving them to a better tactical position. Surely they're not abandoning us.
I want to ask a question about that real quick.
You fucking
I don't think that didn't come across planned. That somebody did that earlier than they were supposed to. That's how
You
I interpret
fucked
that.
up.
Well, yeah, they
You
did as
fucked
soon as
up,
they found
and
out
you were
about it.
gonna fucking pay for it. Like,
That's
Maris, the
very
war's not
true.
over.
That's
Maris, the war's not fucking over. It might be over for you.
It's
not
just
for us.
beginning, boys
You're
and
done.
girls. It is just beginning. We finally, after
is it.
13 fucking months, it's our turn, baby. I'm inspired. Actually, I haven't played the Stellaris thing, but I saw like somebody memed this on Meme Monday, and I didn't know that I missed the latest Stellaris DLC or whatever. But like, I personally feel very inspired. Like, it currently speaks to me about kind of the direction I would like to take the Imperium in. The whole like become the crisis thing. That's kind of my vibe right now. Is becoming the crisis.
It's actually a pretty
Dunk
good
said it
ascendancy
best.
on
This is
Stellaris.
where we're at, right? I mean, I just
Is
said-
that DLC still new?
I
Yeah, it's
just
still the
said
newest Nemesis.
that
It's pretty fucking good.
EVE
Like,
Online
I'm gonna
talk show
capstone-
game.
I'm gonna capstone my actual rant here, and then I'm gonna step back because I'm working from home today, and I have to do some bullshit UFC stuff.
Hi, Cryo.
Hey, Kale. Look, the war is over when we say it's over. The fact that Marius and Gregorian are going, oh no, it's over, means fucking nothing, because we are just going to follow you and keep shooting you
Try
because
harder.
it's fun.
I'm very excited to see the phase 2. I mean, because we
Like,
get to
I
use all
can't
the.
wait.
I mean,
I
just being
genuinely can't
realistic,
wait.
right?
Marius, shut the fuck up. I genuinely
Just
can't
being,
wait.
just being realistic. and no,
Marius,
you
shut
can't do
up.
that to me.
Read the
because
fucking
you...
room. Every single person in the server wants
Bro,
you to
calm
shut
down.
up.
Calm down.
Cryo,
That's
I'd
really
love to
fucking
see
And
mad.
every
you
single-
I
invade us.
want to see you.
And
on
you're
a
saying
defensive
the
war.
same
A
thing
defensive war
as
is
everyone
no
else.
fucking fun.
You have
A
nothing to
defensive war
add
is
to the
the worst
conversation.
part
What
of
I'm
EVE
saying
Online.
is,
You've had nothing to add to the fucking war.
I just want to say,
all I'm saying is,
Mitani can
it's been
correct me if
14
I'm wrong. Mitani's here, Marius. and he
Cryo,
can correct me if I'm wrong.
your alliance is
but
incapable of the initiative required to actually wage an offensive
And
war.
Gregorian, you're incapable of
A
good
serious
posting, so
question.
why would I
Who,
fucking
They
listen
literally
to you?
have the
Marius,
initiative.
and what alliance is he from?
Yeah.
Who are you
we're
with, Marius?
we are fucking region eaters. Like we're going to like.
Okay,
just
I
fucking
literally
eat
don't know
Yeah.
who this guy is. or
And
who
the
he's with.
alliance
Yeah.
called the initiative is the biggest loser
like
of
some
the
shrimp
war.
no
fried
one really
fucking
does,
rice,
Mittens.
like some shrimp fried goddamn
Here
rice.
we
We're gonna eat
fucking
it
go.
up.
you're telling me
Eat
to
it all
fried
up.
this rice?
So
All
let's
right,
be clear here.
I'm
then.
checking
Let's be
out
clear.
now.
Let's be clear here.
I'm
If you
checking
guys
out
want to
Billy,
come
and I'm gonna
attack,
go.
then
I'm
I
gonna
Good
check
chatting
out,
with you,
then you
Cryo.
guys-
Sorry,
I'm
we
gonna-
Okay, you
I'm
don't
gonna-
have to
I'm
keep
gonna
saying
go.
it,
I'm
just
just gonna
leave.
then you guys can go.
Marine Ross just
Well,
says
hold
eat his
on,
ass,
Cryo,
and you
because
can eat
if you're gonna just drop something and then go, you can just go without dropping
Oh
something.
no,
because
I'm gonna sit here and listen. I'm just
Oh,
letting you know.
okay, good.
Like,
Because I was gonna
seriously,
say,
who is
take
Marius?
take shit you need to.
Marius
It's,
is a random brave member, I think.
Oh, fucking
What?
brave.
Marius
Isn't-
is just a dumbass.
Test is
and
next.
let's
Brave
be
is in the
real
way.
about it.
Test is
Isn't
next.
isn't
and Brave
Marius
is
a
in the way.
brave?
Yeah,
Yes,
Marius
I
is a
am.
Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Marius is our
I just
current,
kept hearing Marius, and I'm like, what is he
Marius is
right
a
on?
speed bump.
It's a thing.
He's got training wheels on his bike right now, learning how to
Okay,
talk to
there are
others.
far
This is
too
so
many people in this
awesome.
channel.
Marius is around.
That the
the
Goon
meme.
Echo Chamber has seeped onto this show and infected so deep into
Shut
like
up,
the
Renner.
motherboard
No,
of
that's just
Whoa,
Marius.
hold
like
up,
all
Renner.
of
Everyone's
every
coming for that
like
booty hole,
there is
Marius.
no single talk show on Twitch where that hasn't
you're
just
allowed
become
on?
Reddit swarm
Just
deployed to
fucking-
downvote Marius immediately.
Did I just hear?
nobody
Progod on my
fucking cares
fucking
about Reddit
screen?
except
me,
you.
Marius.
Marius,
let
shut
me,
the fuck up.
Let me tell you something. Point blank.
Just
Point
mute him.
point blank. Let me
Blank.
tell you something. Point blank. All right. This show is not an echo chamber for anybody anymore. Before, it was an echo chamber for everybody in Pappy. Now it's an echo chamber for nobody. It's a public fucking Discord that anybody can join at any fucking time, and the fact that there aren't more people from Pappy here just shows that you guys are embarrassed. And I'm embarrassed too, because I said that Goons would be a dead alliance, but they're not, are they? They're still alive, and believe what you want, but at the end of the day, they really are going to come after you. They're going to come after
Hey,
everybody.
Marius.
I'm
Marius.
embarrassed.
I mean,
for
I
that.
would
How
be
much
lying.
free time we would have if we weren't coming after the people on our list.
Okay, that's fine. Whatever.
Who's the
I would be
list?
lying
How
if
does the
I
list
said that
number?
I wasn't.
Marius,
I'm pretty
I cannot wait
sure
to
Test
fucking
is top of the
steamroll
list.
your ass.
That's
But,
awesome. dude.
Mittens
Billy,
can
you're
correct me
next.
if I'm wrong, but
Yeah.
Test, yes, you're the top of the list. We will be coming for you at some point.
I
Mittens,
mean, we
am
are in the
wrong?
process of processing Test. Like, Test is now. Like, Villy is here defending his ego instead of looking out for the evacuation of his line members' assets.
He's already
because that's all
evacuated,
that
Honor.
matters for these people.
So neither of those things are correct, actually. I've been doing jump raider runs for other people all day, and I haven't evac any of my capitals. So let's keep the.
Okay.
Whoa!
You want to
Screenshot.
scanner agent on the crown
We
jewel.
have the screen caps.
So
guys.
what you
Come
have,
on.
what you have is a screenshot of me jumping a wyvern to QI1 to give to someone else so they can move their assets to T5Z.
Can I say something real quick?
Wait, sorry.
No,
Just
I
to-
guess you guys do have a lot of practice with move ops at this point.
Yeah.
You needed to move somebody else's
Premier move
super
up
cap
FC already.
to
So-
another region to hand it over to somebody else so that they could move their assets from that region home. Is that what we've just heard?
Correct. My corp stages in QI1 in Aquarius, which is in jump range of T5Z. Darren needed to move some ships.
Staging in Delve, which was
Wait,
to
your
be
corp
new
stages.
home.
What you're telling me is your corp stage is in a completely different system from where your war headquarters is at.
And you
That
and you
makes
told this
zero
wait,
fucking sense.
Confirm me.
and you told this
Confirm
person
me.
to bring their stuff. You got this person to bring their stuff from Quirius back into Delve, and this was yesterday.
Yeah, that's the evacuation path we're doing.
Why?
What the fuck?
Because we're doing combat capitals and supers out last.
How's that going?
It's fine
That's
going so
visibly
far.
not true. I'm looking at the stream right now. That's not happening.
Okay, so what individuals may end up doing on, the standing issue is one thing. Obviously, not everyone will follow that, and we try to do our best to go as a group.
Okay, does that mean you're going to headshot anyone that leaves? Because that seems to be
No,
the
of
status
course
quo
not.
for you guys.
When have we ever done that?
Vince Draken fucking NS.
I am not Vince
most,
Draken.
most of the rest of your coalition is doing it now, so good luck.
I'm tracking that lots are, but nonetheless, the issue that
Hang on.
that was given was that it'll be combat caps and supers out last. So, regardless of what it is, I'll do my best, and anybody I can, I'll be the last ones out with me.
Yeah,
as
I'll
much
plead
as we
that when I
can.
see it.
Well, I mean, you'll see it in a couple weeks, I guess. So it's whatever.
All right, so I do want to let you guys know, and I'm sorry that I'm edging you so much, chat, but I do have probably the dankest leak of the dank leaks available in my inbox right now. and I'm trying to think.
boy.
I'm trying to think of a milestone. I'm trying to think of a milestone
give the damn
that we
link.
had to
Just
hit.
give the damn link.
We were at 1,000, so
I know, but I leaked something at 1,000. Like, can we hit? I don't know.
Just
fuck
leak
it.
the damn
I'll
thing.
leak
already
it.
went
I'll
to
leak
Redline,
it
we've had
soon.
to listen to Villy and
Shut
the
up,
Matani
Eric.
for a while. How about you just leak it for that?
I'll leak it soon. Give me a sec to put in a paste bin or something, and I'll leak it for you. Anyway, we are. Goddamn, this channel grew by like 1 million people. So,
I thought you said you wouldn't be letting more people in.
So in recent moments, we've got Suez in the channel. We've also got Alpha Star Pilot. And God, I don't even know who else has joined in because people have been dragging other people in. Who did you?
Hey, now that
Hi,
team. Now that ASP's here, can we talk about? I need to tell Bill that he was right about something, which Pitch is gonna hate, but I need to tell Bill he was right.
Omeka was his teacher.
No. Absolute minimal planning. So the campaign commander thing needed to happen. You needed fucking leaders to make decisions. Well, that never happened, right? And so pretty much whoever was the active, not even head FC, just active FC willing to think more than, let's say, 12 hours ahead, ASP, basically would post out, hey, here's our fleet line out for the day. There was very little cross time zone coordination, somewhat between US and AU, but it was hard to get anything with EU simply because like Headliner would do stuff, but same scenario. You get guys that want to be in charge but can't be because they lack social skills or chromosomes or whatever. But no, there was no planning. There was no fucking plan. There was
So it really was 24, 48 hours.
No, we're talking 12 to 18. It was
12 to 18,
minimal.
it really was that bad. Well,
And
then
if
I'm wrong because I thought maybe 2 weeks, like 14, 15 days out at max.
It depended
Fuck
on the
me.
time and campaign and then the strategic and tactical
once we
level we're
got to
talking about.
YZ9 and then T5, it was day by day, no overarching strategy.
Yo,
iHubs just fed left and right.
Speaking of T5, real talk for a second, Brother Bob. What you're saying to us is that the opposing coalition, who we assumed would have plans 2 to 4 weeks out, had no plan at all.
No,
I think that's what you just
No, there was a plan. It was just there was a new plan. Like every 8 hours, there'd be a new plan. Basically, that's what I'm saying.
That's what you just don't even need intel for that. You could just the different types of activities that were being carried out or the different offensive strategies and stuff.
Bill,
And so the joke was always like, well, in intel, right? I mean, goons don't know what we're doing because we don't know what we're doing, right? And while that's funny to say as a one-liner, it's incredibly frustrating, right? From trying to from the strategic standpoint of trying to have an actual strategy and go forward. There was
It's
arguments
frustrating for
back
us
and
too.
forth.
Yeah.
There was arguments back and forth at multiple levels. Hey, should we go for iHubs? What iHubs should we go for? Should each alliance hold 30 iHubs or one or none? And well, Bill, you witnessed that, right? I mean, Brave lost GOP 57 times or whatever.
UXO and PUIG.
Yeah, so PUIG was a bunch of good fights, by the way. That was a lot of fun. But
I'm so
I had some good fleets there, yeah.
now.
it was a total catastrophe.
The idea that you guys.
Dirk. Someone just offered me $100 to ban you from the Discord server.
Oh shit!
Please do
Take the money, dude.
I'm not gonna take the
$100. I love you, but take the money.
Yeah, same here. I agree completely.
I just wanted to shine. You got a family Redline. Take it.
$100. Take that fucking money.
Didn't you just buy a house?
I did.
Seriously,
Come to
ban me
SummerSlam
and
that way.
unban me. Here we go.
Hey,
just ban him.
Just
Can
like
we
this,
talk about T5 ZI.
Just like this vision store is business,
Wait,
and
hold
ask
on.
why.
Before we do that, Cryo, hold that thought because I have to finish the game. Wait, no, I said 5 minutes. Never mind. Carry on.
Sherrod just said 500.
Are you high? Is that what the
That's
fuck's going on here?
That's my question. Why the fuck did you guys stage in T5?
I just wanted to circle back to this is Officer, by the way. Hey, everybody. I just want to circle back to Brother Bob's statement of disorganization. That was there since day one. Sorry, my key got froze, but as I was saying, so yeah, I quit for personal reasons in September, came back in May for a bit, but I was basically starting off the war with PanFam, and there was lack of serious decision making from the beginning that made any sense. For example, moving all the Titans and Supers to FAT was a giant waste of time, and they did nothing for months and slowed down the grind in Fountain, which took way longer than it should have because all of our Titans were sitting in fat doing nothing because certain people in certain alliances that we were blue to, Tappy, thought that goons were going to do some magical counteroffensive.
Oh, dude, Manfred Sidious
and jump into catch with caps and supers while getting
Alpha,
attacked from 3 different regions. No, this
Alpha,
is true. ProRod said that to me. Maybe not you, but just let me finish my statement.
No, I was gonna agree with you. Like I like in hindsight, it was a terrible decision.
Yes, it was a terrible decision from the beginning, and that slowed down the Fountain campaign. And then
yes, absolutely.
I worked with Nizbar very closely, and I can agree that his risk averseness completely slowed down Fountain even more. And it was just stupidity from the beginning. And I quit for personal mental health reasons, excluding the game because I just needed to focus on myself. And I came back in May just to meme around with my new friends in CapF. And I just want to name a specific example of why I realized the war was gonna be lost for Pappy was when I FC'd the first time in US time zone after my break. And I took a fleet with a couple other Pappy dudes running fleets into 3-D, and that was when we unveiled the blaster harpies, and we actually did a really good job, and it was like a 6-hour fight, and we killed a bunch of stuff. And then I basically had the game plan of like, let's run this back tomorrow. We have 2 US time zone Asbel timers. Goons have only like one of their 3 hack doctrines seated in 1DQ because they lost all of their other 2 the night before. They have almost no fighters left on contract because of the blaster harpies chewing through them. Like, if we want to online a Citadel, this is our best chance. And ProGod said, let's take a rest day. And then he convinced all the other bigwigs that we should just take a rest day, even though I, as the FC, was ready to FC until 3 a.m. again and win.
Can we get a date on that?
That was May 17th or whatever. It's when that Lon Nix walked into the drag bubble on the Asbel and died.
it was one of the very early 3D games. Yeah,
pretty distinctively. Like he's right. We were over here, Alpha. I want to just toss it back to you, but just to confer, like I was mind blown when I saw them first starting like actual like rest days in the offensive war. Anyway, please carry on.
But yeah, I just wanted to say, like, just name some examples of somebody who was at the top, who was in and out of the war, obviously, and my personal experiences that the lack of a central decision maker screwed us from the beginning, I think, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree.
PanFam taking the back seat to decision making in this war, I think, was the biggest mistake. I think just letting the 500 FCs and Legacy, all chime in with their 2 cents just caused a lack of core decision making for the smallest timers to the biggest timers, and it was just all a fucking snowball effect. And that's why I didn't continue resubbing. I saw a friend gave me Plex in May after that big fight where we killed that Lon Nix, and we had a chance to capitalize on anchoring some Asbels, and PGL was like, nah, let's just take a rest day. I just realized it was over.
All right, so before we move forward, I've gotta do the giveaway, right? So I'm gonna pick 5 winners for this Abaddon skin. All right, and then I'm gonna thank Starlust for the 50 gift subs. Hopefully that wasn't to ban somebody because I didn't see it. Oh, did you guys want to? Okay, enter the raffle. You have 5 seconds to enter the raffle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. All right, you've had like an hour.
Oh crap! I didn't get entered.
You've had like an hour to enter the raffle, so I'm gonna pick 5 winners. You can stop spamming raffle now. And then after I do the winners for the skins, I'm gonna read through a beautiful leak, beautiful leak that I love.
Who the fuck flies an Abaddon?
I want to ask a quick question. Rayvon.
Okay, well, first let me pick these winners. So I'm going to pick 5 of them rapid fire. First one is a special pine cone. Fuck.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Nice.
Rigged. Second one is Icon 911. So if I say your name, I just need you to say in chat that you're here, basically. Third is Ashton Tiberius. Make sure you holler in the channel. Okay. Ashton, are you here? Okay, I don't think Ashton is here. Anyway, you guys can. We'll,
No, I'm on the edge of my seat over this fucking shit.
I have a question for Alpha.
Rice. No, Dark, you've already talked enough.
Dirk, can you let other people speak for once? You're as far as narrator.
One
thing real quick.
Before anyone asks me a question, I just have like a closing statement on my statement, I guess, is that, I'll give props to people on both sides of the war for running it as long as they did. It's literally a part-time, full-time job and something I couldn't even do to external IRL situations. But it's just sad, that like I was, when I came back in May, I was ready to just throw shit at the wall. Like, it's going to be bloody. This last constellation is going to be bloody. Like, we need to be feeding hundreds and hundreds of bill in hack fleets all the time. Like, I hate this term even feeding too. Like, how is it feeding? It's just a bloody fight. Like, the war is supposed to be bloody. Like, this whole like risk aversion, ISK war on the BRs, making sure that somebody's one bill above the BR, like, is just so dumb. It's just like the whole point is that one side needs to win and the other side also wants to win, and like whoever just keeps pushing is gonna end up
I
winning.
want
Most
I
determination
want
and
this
the
guy.
will.
Listen, he's actually fucking competent. Like Alpha Star pilot, hit me up, dude, or talk to one of our fucking dudes. I actually heard a fucking brain cell or two rubbing together right there.
Alpha, can I ask you something?
I'm not kidding. You have a fucking
Thanks, bro.
invitation if you want to
got
go
to coach me back
fly
in
with
the
people
town
that
number
don't
two.
suck.
I just want to say, as a random certified Papi line member, I had fun this war. It really helped me take my mind off of the fact that the world was literally imploding. So thanks to all the people who organized it.
Billy, was I right or wrong about when you said we were going to lose 50% of our member base when you first touched Delve?
I don't. What?
Back in October or November. Don't make me have to dig through all the fucking voice logs.
What was the question, though?
You claimed that we were going to lose like 30 to 50% of our
30
member
was
base.
what I said, yeah.
No, I think you jumped up to like 40 or 50 at one point.
I thought it was 30. I thought 30 was the
It was
figure.
30.
But I say that you're significantly underestimating.
No, I was very close to correct. We saw a very clear dive, about 15-25% throughout that portion of the war. It just never got as heavy or as
I think
cascadey
Philly just,
as we
didn't predict that his own membership would drop just as much.
To be fair, like, it's not just our own membership, but like the problem is when you're deployed, you're always drawing upon extended resources, extended supply lines. Like, Horde and NC don't live in Delve. Test didn't live in Delve at that time. Like, so your numbers just don't swell and stay the way you wanted them to, right? And I was hoping we would do it much better, but as we got further and deeper into Delve, our numbers contracted to a degree just as much as Goons did, unfortunately.
I will give y'all one victory, and that is y'all created a hoarder out of me, and every time I open my items and ship bay, it's like I get anxiety of all the shit that I've stockpiled for this war.
Me and
It's fucking
Cryo trading
ridiculous.
Thrasher fits backwards and forwards was always fun.
We're just throwing 200mm autocannon, like 280mm auto, like artillery cannons through the T5 gate, like some kind of idiots.
Buy it all off the market, refit them, throw them back into 1DQ.
I thought Swaz was going to say something, but then he like.
I am letting my
can
better speak.
Can I cycle back around to my question that we didn't go for?
Yes,
who the
yes,
fuck
go for it.
decided stage in T5? And what the fuck? Why? Who decided that and why?
Well, I'm not sure who. I'm not sure exactly who decided it what day.
Yeah, I want to know this.
I'm not sure who at what day. It might have been me, to be honest. I know I designed multiple maps. But
I
the
was
reality,
kind of hoping
like,
it was you. Like,
it's very possible it was. I'm
figured
not
it out
sure.
was like one of my favorites. Like,
It was a
fucking
group
loved whoever
decision.
did it.
It's possible. Like, I will take responsibility for it.
It smelled like a Villy move. Like, because like one of the two moves that you guys had all war was like, blue more stuff, either drop a keep star at us, or what was the other one? Like for a move op. So it was basically either, hey, we put another keep star at the goon, and maybe now the goon will be scared. And
Well,
it was
T5Z
just.
T5Z was never about scaring you guys. It was about having to stop doing move ops. The intent was to park in T5Z and never move again. That was part of the intent of T5Z.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly like, and when
I mean,
would
it's
make
working out
noise
well
about
for us
the
now,
danger-
but
yeah, like I would say that this is a strategic, like one of the biggest strategic blunders I've ever seen in my 15 years of doing this.
I don't know.
Why? I disagree with that. Why?
Oh, give it a couple weeks, find out.
So,
Well,
the fact that I can keep people entertained by going, get into thrashers that cost 3 million ISK, dive through this gate and gank a Gamma, do it again 3 seconds later, gank another faction ship, doesn't matter. Look, we've just lost
No, that doesn't
300
matter.
ships.
Let's be
No,
clear.
it does, Villy. It means that
me-
I keep
let-
all of my members fucking entertained and laughing at this stupid fucking
Exactly.
game.
So let me explain. Let me explain. So what you just described is what we can also do, and keeping our members entertained.
Didn't.
I did it. I mean, what do you think the
I did, thank you
5,000
very much.
tweets I was doing?
You weren't doing it on the scale we were doing.
I
You would
seen-
run in and bum rush.
I
and
don't
then
remember seeing that either.
Like heck,
Not
I
now,
didn't see a
one
thrasher
thrasher.
fleet
We would do
on
that
the
all the
scale.
time. Pandemic Legion would do that. We'd use dummies though because
Yeah.
money
Brain, you
support.
don't know anything
Oh,
outside
you
of the
guys shot
live
each
show.
other though.
My dig, Bill. We do that all the time in PL. It's so much
Didn't
fun.
see it.
I have like a stream of doing it with tornadoes and thrashers. It was so much fun.
Yeah, but this is missing the point though. While we are doing that, we are winning because we are not
Kool-Aid.
losing.
Oh no, my Kool-Aid.
But if Test is throwing Thrashers into 1DQ, it's obvious to everyone that they're not winning because you're not going to win by throwing Thrashers into 1DQ. It's a totally different thing.
If that's your measure of victory, you should change your mascot from the bee to the cockroach.
Think about the logic on that one. Like, let's be real here. If that's your argument why T5Z was bad, that's a poor argument.
I mean, I actually don't care about an argument, right? Like, I can make the argument, and my point is basically it's going to be proven one way or another, right? Like, we don't have to argue about this. Like I said to Suez, give it a couple weeks. I believe
But a couple weeks
that
it'll
I
die,
will
right?
be.
No, it's going to be the last thing to die.
No, I want to keep T5Z around. Like I've said this before on fucking Firesides, guys. I've been even on the meta show. Like it's complete 100% truth. You just think I'm lying. Is that I think T5ZI is the biggest strategic overreach in the history of block warfare and EVE Online. Like I said a couple of minutes ago, it's it's stunning. I love it, and I don't want it to go away. And if I'm wrong about that, I will admit it because I'm not a little dick bitch and it doesn't bother me being wrong in front of even an audience of 1,000 people. So, let's just give it a go. If you think that T5ZI is great, I am delighted by that.
That's fine, but why do you think it's great? Why do you think it's such a strategic fuck up? You say you've been
Because I
saying
knew
this
you
for
were
a
going
while.
to have a failure cascade and break, and I'd get to do what we're about to be doing to you and are in the process of doing to you as you try to do this evac thing. It's too close. Like it's just literally, it's Icarus flying too close to the sun. You guys came in and you thought you were going to win, we were going to run away and be easy, and there was no planning for failure scenarios. Like literally no planning at any level of your organizations for what if we're wrong about the goon.
Well, ironically, I think there was no planning for succeeding scenarios. I think if we had left a chain out for Goon Corps to potentially leave, now I know you and I are going to disagree on this, but we enclosed 1DQ in that constellation with a net. And that had the side effect of not allowing anybody to leave, even if they had wanted to.
But that's your flaw. That's
Yeah,
your flaw.
thanks.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
Swiss
true.
is right. Like I don't know if he we will never know if you guys had not blown up the Golden Bridge, right? Like we can't answer the question, but it's entirely possible that Swiss is right. I don't think he is right, but it's sort of academic, right? Like I agree with the general point that blowing up the Golden Bridge was really dumb, and then the bridge too far with the T5ZI, I believe is you don't have the strategic distance, which means that you're essentially all of your people. Like one of the reasons why everybody's so scared and is running for the hills is it's just too close, because if the situation swings, which it is in the process of swinging,
I think
you
it's
are
swung, but
right
yeah, carry on.
that you guys are right next door, and so it's just that I honestly don't know how this is gonna go, right? Like this is way too big sociologically. Like the scale of this route is the collapse, because Pappy could have stuck the landing. Like this is like a real thing. Is I knew that there was going to be some sort of a retreat announcement thing, but the way that could have been done, if it was done in a coordinated way, if somebody had been in charge to handle the messaging, even if somebody had appointed a committee to handle marketing directors or whatever, but if they stuck the landing of announcing it at once in a coordinated way, it would have been bad. But the really like the train wreck scenario we have here, where we're all kind of like hanging out agreeing that this was a big shit show and people are sharing leaks and sort of going through what happened, is because the impact of Test unanchoring those keep stars in the middle of the fucking tie-dye grind. It was just like it's the fucking brick in a dryer gif,
That was
and like that was just it was
I agree.
it was
I
a
agree.
catastrophic morale blow, and
I
Test
completely
tested
agree.
it.
I asked earlier about that. Like that didn't seem like it was planned. Like it just like I'm not fucking into your shit. I
Was
just
the
I just
it was a bit of a I think it was a bit of a miscommunication. Sorry, I just spoke over you, Bill.
That
No,
was
man.
it was a miscommunication. It was a communications fuck up, like plain and simple.
Because
Wars are lost by the losers.
The whole fucking war was a communications fuck up. Let's be real. Or let's say lack thereof communications fuck up. It was just
That's
all
fair.
fucking mess from the fucking beginning.
Speaking of
By
communications,
the way,
fuck-ups.
also guys, just I want to point out here, NPC Delve exists, right? And so the whole like boa constrictor sneck thing of like we're gonna try to like constrict the goon or cut off the golden bridge or whatever. Like, I'm not exactly the logistics guy, but I was immediately reminded by somebody who's smarter than me that NPC Delve fucking exists. Like this whole idea that Corpse couldn't leave because like it was dumb to blow up the golden bridge. But at that point, I don't think it mattered because I think that if people were committed, we had months to prepare our guys for this war because Pro God Legend arranged the thing. So like behind the scenes, we were scrambling, and you saw at the early parts of the war where we were basically going into like siege mode because we hadn't really built out Fortress Delve yet because we didn't really understand citadels when we got them. We had no idea we'd end up with like 7,000 fucking citadels, like a Zerg creep shat all over Delve, right? It was this immense just cruft. And so because we got the early warning, because if you try to get the entire galaxy involved in a war, you can't keep it a secret. And we were sort of pulling back and consolidating and things like that. I think that if we were going to shed corpse or alliances or any of it, it would have happened potentially if we didn't have a month and a half of advance notice to like frantically work and let all the corp leaders and let everybody know what was coming and just prepare for the biggest hell war that had ever happened in EVE Online. And yeah, so I don't think that, we would, we had you close to breaking. Like the idea that we were close to breaking would make sense if the people who were invested in this war on the Imperium side would had the same sort of value decision-making tree as people in Papi, right? Like it's just we're not a confederation pickup guilds. It's a tribe. And so it reacts like a tribe. It doesn't react like a gaggle of fucking internet spaceship guild things, right? So I forgot where I was going with that, sorry.
Well, I think the subconscious like philosophy that was being
team
shared
wants leaks.
Kind of.
Yeah, let's do leak real quick.
Let's do leaks.
Clap them cheeks, drop a leak.
The team
I have a point
wants
to make
leaks.
once we get back from those leaks.
All right, so first off, we are nearing the end of the stream. So what I want to do is I forgot what I wanted to do. I did the giveaway stuff already. Everybody has the
You
skins.
said this was the dankest leak, right? That was coming up.
It's one of them. I don't know if it's the dankest. I'm getting more as time goes on.
Downgrading
This,
it. What the fuck?
This seems like the dankest one because this is a leak regarding a certain leader up in the north of a coalition, and it's again more conversations between Bob and this man, and it starts out with Bob asking, is everyone on the no making deals page we had with Declan and Branch? And he says, yes, seems so. Everyone is of that opinion, at least so far anyway, because Gobbins, Villy, and Norris will historically chase deals and money. Is that true, Villy? Just chase deals and money?
What real life money are you suggesting?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's real life money.
Could you read it out again? Sorry.
What's the date on? What's the date on this?
That is a really good question. What is the date on this? Let me see when the date on this is. November 28th is the date on this. So this
Right
was
on. Thank you.
This is when everything was just getting started, right? So this is where everybody
November
was
28 is
talking.
like
November
NBC
28th is
Delve
like
time.
Oh
halfway
yeah,
in the
you're
middle
right.
of the fucking
I
war.
mean, sorry. I thought it was November of 2019. 19. Yeah.
Pick
all
up a
right.
calendar, man.
Come
It's
on
when
now.
GOTG got
Don't
nuked
blame
and
Redline. He
banned
hasn't
and
been
tapped.
logging in months.
It's November
It's
of
true.
2019 when Tappy was an NPC Pureblind and PanFam were FRT Steam.
You want me to read it, Redline? Are you struggling here?
Yeah, go ahead, read it, dude. Read it. Just no bad words, okay? Please.
What?
What?
All right. So this was in November. Vince asked me to come back. He wasn't happy with Pitts or DJ FCing, which is funny for multiple reasons. But not what this is about. We had a long talk about what's status of the war, the history, because I skipped the first 5 months of the war. That's true. And so they basically expectations. So going into Tenal and GOTG, the agreement was, hey, no deals. Like we're not going to do what Sword did with Goons, and he gave him some shit and got to live. When we went to Tenal 2 years ago, the plan was just, hey, we fun campaign. If we start making progress, we go, but no deals. If we lose, we lose. So I asked Vince, hey, is everybody on the same no making deals page that we had in the last campaign? Vince says, yes, seems so. Everyone is of that opinion, at least so far. And then I said, historically, guys like Gobbins, Villy, and Norris, they're going to look out for themselves more so than the whole team. A legitimate concern. And so, Villy, the question was, would you look out for your alliance over the whole coalition? Which I would think is yes, but anyways, so Vince says I agreed. And then I said, yeah, because we would find out last off of Goon's Fireside or some shit, because nobody would even tell us. Vince says, and this is in November, I don't think Villy is in a position to make any deals. I'm not sure who he can make a deal with. His space is being burned, and there's not much for him to bargain about. Gobbins is possible. I said, what do you mean? Granted, I have not been in the war this time. What do you mean, Vince? Villy has internal issues or what? And Vince replies, well, Goons will go after Test if we leave, which may happen. So he doesn't have anyone to make a deal with. If the war ends, they're going to go after him. I said, okay. And Vince says, after the bullshit, both sides fed their members. Anything less than 100% win and capture of 1DQ is unacceptable. Goons have this Test is next narrative. And Test with the recent announcement they're moving to Delve and leaving ESO. And I said, yeah. Villy said, no timeline. Okay, makes sense. NC could sit here deployed for a year and probably be okay, but Dino Crabs I don't know how they hold up. The FC team, their depth is lacking. They have a couple of good FCs, but they don't play all the time. I said, at least Horde will always find someone to throw into the meat grinder, even if they feed the whole fleet chasing a Dictor or something dumb. Vince replies, haha, yes. I don't know. At some point, I guess we need to draw the line if we're still here in 6 months. I'm of the opinion, this is Vince, if we are still here in May or April of next year, we just fucking CTA Supers and Titans, have an alliance meeting, and go back home. If Villy can't figure it out by then, there's no helping him. We'll take our asses back to drones, and I can finally be done. Which is possible, to be fair.
Well, you didn't. So you
right
said
back.
He could be done, but he says he'll finally quit the game.
Yes, he says I can be done and finally quit this game. So back in November, Vince was already telling his FCs that this was it. This is the last rodeo. And he was already okay back in November going into the T5Z phase of the war that he's ready to leave. And just leave Test behind if the war isn't wrapped up in 6 months, which it wasn't. And here we are in August, I guess, in leaving. So the plan was already skeletal drafted to leave back in November. There was already an exit strategy. And Vincent told several people, including several CEOs in NC, several corp CEOs, as well as FCs. So when they go back to drones, I don't know what's going to happen. That's kind of their deal. But the real takeaway here is, going into Delve, Vince was okay with just leaving Test behind at any point. So yeah, this was.
Can you blame him?
No. The biggest.
I wish we all fucking were.
So the reason I said that was the dankest leak of all of them is because by this conversation, it means that NC is going to have new leadership here in the next little while, and Vince is going to be gone. And to that, I say fuck you and good riddance. Get fucked, Vince Draken.
Hell yeah.
Well, Vince. He's just such a Vince,
Well, that was a juicy fucking leak.
And here's the pace spin
I
for
thank you for Brother Bob. I think we thank you for leaking that. Wow, that was okay.
Billy, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, the reality is we haven't had options. When we were put in a position and asked if we would go with this war, there was, how do I put this? I knew if we were gonna make it happen, someone had to commit to living in Delve. Someone had to make that play. Because if you just kind of go in there half-assed and it's just like we'll blow some stuff up, the way the solve mechanics work, especially we learned a lot of these lessons when fighting with Frad, that you can't, like, if there's not somebody planning to take the space as you kill it, then the defender will just re-hub the system and then you'll fight over the same thing for a couple months and then you'll lose eventually, right? So there was only one way to ever do it, and somebody had to commit, and we were the ones to make that commitment to do it. We figured if we're going to be involved in this, then we're going to be in it to win it, and we'll take that risk and we'll take that leap and we'll move in. And obviously that means mid-war we have no cards to play. We're the one who's fully committed, so it is what it is, kind of thing.
So Billy, I have a
saying that
question.
you were asked to live in Delve, or you were asked to join in on this invasion of goons? I missed that part.
He said somebody had.
He wasn't asked to join in on this invasion of goons. I mean, ProGod came up, asked us to join in on the invasion of goons. My SIG was in Pure Blind, owning for months, and then NC deployed to come play with us. And then Villy and ProGod's high sec jump clones in perimeter, they moved to Lone Trek, low sec to come play with us too. And then they were saying TikTok, the NIP or NAP or whatever the fuck contract was running out soon. And then, hey, let's all just team up and dogpile goons together. It all just built from that deployment. But it was all them coming up to the plan. Nobody from PanFam approached them. We were quite comfortable
Alpha,
fighting
I would
Legacy
suggest
and
you
Cash and fighting goons in Pure Blind.
Alpha, I'm fine with you saying that, but I can assure you this was not my plan. And I think that
whose
there may
play
be
was it?
conversation.
I'm not putting the ball in fully your court. I don't know whose plan it was fully. I just know that you and ProGod were the ones that approached us with it. So I don't know who was the one who had the light bulb idea. So I'm gonna guess it's probably ProGod, since you're saying you don't want me to say it's you, and he's not here.
All of them.
This
This is a perfect example. Look at this. All of them are responsible, but none of them want the responsibility.
Let's
it was a group decision. It was a group decision.
I'm not lying. I'll tell the I was in all the PanFam channels, and I'd leak it right now because who gives a fuck? But nobody from PanFam, unless it was in private convos that obviously I didn't see, had the light bulb idea of, hey, let's band together and make this Papi coalition. I mean, I know Gobbins wasn't the one that initiated it, because Gobbins and I were talking the whole time, and he was the one that told me, hey, by the way, this is what's happening after Pure Blind. We got this whole big plan. I got approached by, Legacy and Tappy and blah, blah, blah with this whole NIP thing ending for them with goons and whatever. So that's all I heard of this.
Didn't Test poach 2 corpse from NC before this whole thing?
That's when Test deployed to Wygenin and started the TTT, is when they took 2 NC corps.
That was like a year and a half.
That was a long time ago.
What time? Like a year and a half ago? What?
Like a year and a half before the war started.
So around Vegas
2018. Yes.
So around the Vegas time, right?
It was actually Eve Nola with ProGod and DJ, who were both conveniently not here. Is when it was initially concocted, from what I understand.
Yeah, that's what
I've known for quite a while. So
yeah.
Villy, I just have a real quick question for you as a person who is in charge of Test. How so these leaks are obviously, they're all talking about how Test is very much just probably dead in the water, and that's kind of the narrative that they wanted to float. How can you realistically expect to live on these guys' front door? And do you expect them to have your back in the coming months, when eventually everybody comes up? Yeah, do you expect Horde?
Well, did you listen to this chat for the last 2 hours? Goons were quite clear they're going to be coming to shiggity shwooty, coming to get that booty, right?
Yeah,
So
your booty,
This is
not
this
not Horde
assumption
and
of
Ted, not
conventional
Horde and
vengeance. This is one of those things that, like, sorry,
NCPL.
but like, why
if you
are
want
you
to correct us,
assuming?
Matani, like, go
Yeah,
ahead.
like this is what gets me about. It's just kind of boring to play against, right? The you get a gaggle of insecure FCs together, and then their assumptions are like, okay, let's say that you run to the fucking drone regions. Did I send armies after CO2? No, we just waited for the right time and the right opportunity and arrange things in such a way that our enemies annihilate themselves. I mean, if Test does want to go hide in the drone regions, it'll change things in a couple ways. One, it accelerates the timeline of purging everything around here. So essentially, the faster you run, the faster we have all of our shit back. But that also means that my guys still have their blood up, right? Like, we have some time here, but just one of the things I want people to keep in mind here. I don't want to. There's no need to have these arguments about, like, is Goonswarm going to be sending somebody at a time and a target that then I can argue about on Reddit to say that you said this then and you were wrong about whatever. Like, we just, all y'all motherfuckers spent the last 13 plus months talking mad shit about me and mine, and you fucked up and you failed.
So if I test this now,
all that really matters is we have our list and we can do our thing, and you can argue and you can talk, but you can't really stop us from doing much, right? Like, we're going to do our thing and maybe we'll fuck up. Like, if I go off to low seg, like, oh, we're going to try to fight Snuffed Out. That didn't work out very well, right? Like, there's mechanical limits to the kind of things that we can do in this video game. But, it's just the gloves are fucking off. Like, become the crisis. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, at some point, like, we are going to be doing our level best to do as much negative expected value at test through whatever means and mechanisms are reasonable and appropriate, be they sending fleets, be they six and squads, be they all sorts of fun black hand stuff. Like, the NC dot thing is just boring. Like, one of the things is, like, fighting events for years and years, after a certain point, like, you just want to get beers with a guy. I know you guys are talking lots of shit about Vince, but, like, it's like I get beers with Lady Scarlet, right? Like, after a certain point, you end up kind of trauma bonded to the people that you've been fighting for a long time. And I'm just not excited by the idea of being mad at PanFam anymore, because we've all kind of been there and done that. But you test motherfuckers, like, this is fun for us. Like, we enjoy having genuinely contempt-worthy enemies, and it gives the game its spice. And so, like, I don't want to get into some, like, little dick nerd argument about what sort of calendar timeline some FC predicted that Goonswarm should be attacked. Goonswarm should be attacking. Goonswarm should be scheduled to be attacking Test on March, and you attacked Test on April 30th, and so I won the nerd argument. Yeah, like, it's just, who gives a shit? The point is, we fucking hate you. We hold you and the rest of you in contempt, and it doesn't fucking matter anymore because you already blued each other and tried to stop us and wipe us out of the game, and you suck and you fucked it up, and nothing you really say or do matters anymore. And there's a responsibility that we have. Like, I actually don't want people to get so scared that they quit the fucking game or something, because, like I say, fighting PanFam is boring or whatever, but kicking Test around the galaxy is going to be a lot of fun for a while. And I don't, Billy, you told everybody that you wanted to exterminate me. You wanted to get me to quit the game. You wanted to get my friends to stop being friends with each other and stop playing the game together. And you got
let's be clear.
all these dumb motherfuckers together to sign on to that and clap and dance for that. So it's a group
let's be clear about one
decision. And I just want you to know that I don't want to do that to Test. I have absolutely no desire to
So I'm going to talk for
Test.
1 sec here, just about
I
this.
want
I'm just going to say
you
one
and
thing here.
yours to live happy, long space careers in EVE Online, such that my people can enjoy kicking you around the galaxy for as long as possible, until such a time as my people get bored of that. And then you'll finally find somebody else. So I don't want to exterminate you, Billy. I look forward. We are going to have so much fun together.
Excellent.
It's just
I just want
business.
to be clear on one thing because you guys have said
just
this
business.
for many times throughout the war, and I just want to make sure I clarify it one last time. I have never said I wanted you or any member of your leadership to quit the game. You will not find
For
that
me,
quote anywheres.
This is
That
a
is
war of extermination.
It's
whoa, right. Exactly. That is exactly what I said. This is a war to the death, a war of extermination. And my very expectation is that is exactly what it will continue to be. One side of this war will likely not do well and die to the extent that an alliance can die when they lose in an EVE Online video game. Or
But
video game war.
You know
The-
what? I was just
We
gonna
are
say,
aiming
when
for the
there's a-
removal of the Mittani and the Imperium from EVE Online.
And then read the following paragraph,
Villy. You're
please.
my special friend. I hope you'll give us many more T5ZIs in the future.
But then read the following paragraph, right? Which is said
I
where
don't
I know
care.
that you can't.
I'm
yeah, exactly,
going to
right.
leave
Where
you to make your excuses. This has been fun, boys and girls. I think we've had a grand time.
Thanks,
Let's do it again sometime
Reminds
soon.
me of AAA days.
Mittani, have a good night and well fought.
Tony, when you come back from your corpse, I got it in my hangar, boy. Come back.
All right, Jeremy. All right,
Nobody
Jeremy.
wants- God,
Okay,
why do you have to
Jeremy,
make
thank
things
you.
so weird?
Yeah.
I
Made
do
it
want to let
creepy.
Pappy know that when everybody's running in a group out the door, like if you kneecap somebody, then the fucking attacker is coming after you. You're probably going to stop at that person.
So what the fuck are you talking about? We're all a bunch of
I
gays.
fucking hate when that happens.
None of us
Like
can
running
run.
away from a
You guys
bear.
want to just kneecap
None of
us
us
on your
can
way
run.
out?
Dude,
What? You've never been in the club and it's got
we're gonna
turned
get
into like a
winded
shout
walking
out
up
and
the
then...
stairs, Bill.
Wowzers. That was.
Bill, we all live in a first world country. I apologize.
Well, I mean, Alabama is in a wait.
Well,
Yes,
you
stop.
should just stop right there by starting a sentence in Alabama. You should just stop while you're ahead.
They have pretty beaches and good football.
And the lowest HDI in the entirety of the states.
And we
Sorry,
are
Bill.
in Mississippi.
I don't think that I'll be accepted if I decide to take your offer up and joining a mock.
I want to turn this topic back to the game that we're talking on stream about, and I just want to say that I hope with the ending of this war happening now, that the people with long records of stupid decision making will no longer be the ones making decisions, or
Good luck with that, Alpha.
or at least people will listen to other people's opinions and stop being risk averse over a fucking video game with imaginary shit. Like, let's just have fun and blow each other up.
So what you're
Okay,
saying
but
is 90% of the
ego
nullsec
risk
leadership.
averse shit.
So
Yeah.
90% of nullsec leadership right now is not going to be making decisions.
I'm
in the
agreeing
future.
with you there about the risk averseness.
Shut up, Marius.
ASP.
Oh, Jesus,
but
Marius.
on, team.
Like, isn't the listening to everyone like, and then you have where is the power vested because there's a committee and like nobody's truly in charge? Isn't that like what we spent this entire stream talking about was the problem?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Dude,
occupied
your alliance, your excuse of an alliance has the 5 fucking Joe Dumbotrons giving their stupid opinions on everything in the decision making, and inability to lead their own fleets without ProGod, pointing the direction of, Shattered Armor to jump off what cliff that he fucking ProGod points his finger to because he can't run his own shit. So please sit the fuck down. Your alliance is long overdue for being fucking done, and puts way too many people into coordination channels to help make decisions, okay, buddy? Including all the other 50 fucking useless legacy alliances that didn't show up, or fire coalition alliances that didn't show up. Like, I'll give Billy props that at least Tappy fucking showed up for this award. Like, Brave and the rest of you fucking losers just need to be done with it.
Can
and
I just
find
get a
something
little bit
else
of
to do in this
clarification?
game under a new banner and just turn a new chapter.
Can I just get a little bit of clarification? Because after this conversation that we've had, is Tess next or is Tess not next? Because I heard Tess is now.
So us?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you're right fucking
yeah, but
now.
it's not now
Yeah,
because
it is. Like,
because
fuck
Tess
off
is
with
gonna
this.
be.
This is not now shit. We're coming
Mittens
for
just
you
said he's not going to
right
kill
fucking
the
now.
exterminators.
He
You're
did
not
not say
exterminate,
that.
so obviously
You guys
we're
are
not now.
You're doing the exact fucking thing he was saying you're going to do. You fucking nerds.
Well,
He
the
said
real
he's not going to
question is-
exterminate us. He's going to farm us.
Kale, that's retarded.
We were never going to.
Jeremy's
exterminate
not.
you,
It's retarded.
idiot. How is Jeremy the smartest one of you in the room
Guys.
right now? Like, what
Kale-
have they put in the water in the
I'm
fucking
curious as to
Keep
what
Siren
Alpha Star
T5?
Pilot Type
It's the Kool-Aid.
I know. I think it
This
got
is like-
splashed with the Kool-Aid.
This is like Sam looking into Lady Galadriel's bowl and seeing Sauron's like army enslaved the world and going, yeah, that's a
Bro,
good
can you
future.
please take your weeb garbage down the drain with the rest of your Corpse
The
FC
Lord of the
team?
Rings.
Lord of the Rings, fucking Alpha.
Whatever.
You
Fuck
Lord of the
uncultured
Rings is an
swine.
anime. I'm looking that.
TOS. Alpha Star, I got a question for you. You're Titan Pilot's Omega Star, right?
No, that's some dude in
not?
Bob's Corp. No.
Is that just someone who stole your name? Because I saw a Titan leave with called Omega Star Pilot a couple of
That's
days
not
ago,
me.
and I went, "Was that Alpha Star running for the door early?" Obviously not. I was just assuming.
Nah, dude,
No,
I'm not.
that
I'm
was-
not. I'm not subbed right now. And also to the Twitch chat saying joining Goons, good meme. CapF and Horde are my bros. If you haven't noticed, I haven't said a bad thing about Horde because I love Horde and Gobbins is a good man, no matter what Matani says. And you gotta have competent people on the other side so that there's a fight worth putting up for. So
Yeah, but
Yeah.
AMOC is
Test
recruiting
Brave,
though, Alpha.
Test Brave, XIX, and the long list of useless alliances in this game that need to,
Don't worry, we have
figure
a
out
list.
their own shit what to do.
We
Sorry,
got a
like,
list.
Sticky Keys keeps picking up, but like you guys. just
What
need to,
I
like,
will
get a
say is
reality
everybody
check.
in Brave
It's
really
fucking
showed
over.
up, and I think Brave or Brave.
The line
sorry.
members
Oh,
did. The line members definitely did. I
Yeah.
think the people who call themselves FCs in that alliance could have done a better job.
Oh, Sharded Armor.
Alpha, you have the line members in Brave, and you have Dunk. That is the extent of Brave.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Alpha, you have FCs and you have people that claim they're FCs and haven't logged on for 9 months. Just saying.
With that being said, I think like
Dude, if that was supposed to be a clap at me, the war wouldn't have started without my SIG, burning shit down in pure blind. So, take a seat, buddy. Like, what
You're
the
a very
fuck's...
important man.
So
Well,
as you're
I
talking
mean,
mad
I
shit for
was
someone who just
very
lost their
involved.
empire
in
again.
the-
I 100% agree with that assessment.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
yeah.
if it wasn't for
I think
my
we all
SIG
do.
and pure blind exposing the weaknesses on the borders, like, we wouldn't have like had the ideas of maybe we should just all blue each other and fucking go for it. So, like,
So
fucking relax, dude.
So us is talking mad shit for someone who just lost his moon empire for the 5th time.
Dude, come on, that's a
Dude, I'm
sensitive
just sick and
subject.
tired of like Suas or Pro God, like all these names that are like 15 years old in Eve. Like, I've been playing this game for a long time, but I was a stupid little kid when I started, and like it's time for some fresh faces, man. Like, it's time for some fresh decision makers at the very, very top, not just like the FCs like me, but like those quote unquote campaign commanders that we were unable to acquire through unanimous votes.
Y'all are dealing with the same. Y'all are dealing with the same like an issue that it wasn't an issue 5 to 10 years ago, but it is an issue now, which is that like the thinking is that we'll just throw this many fleets at it and the problem will go away. It doesn't really work like that. Like, as much shit as we give CCP, they've introduced a few different like game mechanics that kind of like a little bit of different strategies can be sprinkled on top of the cake, right? And you're going to get an outcome regardless of how many fleets and shit you throw at something. So you got to kind of strategize things. You got to think ahead. You got to think of all the different variables and outcomes and how do you deal with this situation, situation. And I just didn't see a whole lot of that coming from the Papi side.
Whilst I agree with you that I didn't see a whole lot of that coming from the Papi side, I think that's been the case since like 2006, man.
I have a question for Alpha Sorry, go ahead and let you. But I have a question for Alpha after you're done that I want to ask a lot.
No, Jeremy, you go, sweetheart. You go ahead. You ask your
Ask
question.
away, sweetie.
I didn't get a direct answer from Mittens, Matani, whatever. I want to ask you the same question. What is your like dream team, like FC decision maker lineup going back to day one? If you could like reshuffle everything around, like who do you think is really good in Papi?
I mean, there's
Not
there's
Papi.
there's a
Let's
dream
go,
team.
Let's say Horde, Test, Legacy, and NC. Let's stick to those.
What the
Papi's
fuck,
pretty
bro?
big.
Damn, why you kick out PL? That's fuck.
PL.
Wow, toxic. God,
I mean,
he almost campaigned
either-
Pan-Fam and Legacy. Pan-Fam and Legacy. How about that way? I'm including everybody.
Okay, the only FC in PL worthy to mention is Headliner, and I guess Tachi too because he actually did things. So Headliner for EU, Tachi for US, NC Dot had Bob obviously for US, but that's no longer EU. I mean, like, I hate to say Nidispar, like if we could just put duct tape on Nidispar's mouth in terms of him voicing his strategic opinions on how we should take fights, aka never take fights, because he's the most risk-averse person I've ever worked with in this game. He can definitely FC fleets really well, but making decisions, I don't know. But we'll put him on the list because he's good at FCing, obviously. He has a very good record, much longer than mine. For Horde, I mean, I'm inactive, but if I was active, I'd say myself. But we got Johnny Boy for Caps. We got Muskie, who's been doing a great job. We got a bunch of dudes in EU like Gerald and Jakaja and a bunch of people I'm forgetting of that get the job done. Test, I mean, we got like, you know, as much shit talking I've been giving Pro God, like I still think in terms of like FC skills, he knows what he's doing. He just is, again, just terrible decision maker of strategic things, but in terms of, you know, fleet versus fleet combat, he knows what he's doing. I like Sandrin. I think his entire corp is full of fucking idiots and terrible FCs, but I really like Sandrin. And Legacy, let's see, absolutely nobody.
You can't leave Kill out.
Not even Billy?
You can't leave Kill out.
Well, Philly's like caps and supers, like how Johnny is for Horde. So there you go.
Would you say that an advantage Goons had was they are better strategic thinkers, as in long term, while we are better like on the ground boots FCing?
I don't think that's the advantage. I think the advantage is that it's all Imperium is majority one big alliance making decisions. It goes from Mittani down the chain to the FC team.
Agree.
It's not fucking, you know, Nidispar and Headliner and Vince and Gobbins and Philly and me and
Alpha.
5 other people giving their opinions, and then Legacy and Brave and XIX people who are useless also giving their opinions.
Alpha.
No, nothing gets done.
Alpha, so I agree with most of what you said, but I disagree with one part. From my experience, Mittani would kind of go, "Hey guys, like we're losing this. We need to twist the knife." And so, you know, Villy back in the day, or V, or Sesfan or whatever, would come up with a new doctrine and be like, "Hey, look, this is the twist the knife fleet." And Mittani would be like, "Yeah, no, I came up with that because I came up with the name." Like, I don't think it's Mittani down. I think it's middle management up. And I think that's where Goon's strength is.
Like, dude, whatever really it is, good. It can be middle management sideways doing cartwheels upside down into Mittani's ass. The problem is that I'm sure they didn't have 10 people who are shit FCs giving their opinions on major strategic decisions, or
well, I agree with that as well.
Off schedules, or who should run what and do this. Because let me tell you, at least when I resubbed in May, and there was, you know, our coordination Discord had breakdowns for time zone. US time zone had fucking, you know, Noor Sammy going, "Mr. Krabs, I have an idea," from fucking SpongeBob every fucking day with some boneheaded idea. And then we'd all have to like take that in and like, you know, have a discussion about that instead of just, you know, deleting all these people from Discord and having, you know, the 5 people who actually can make good decisions PvP wise in this game for large nullsec fleet war, or make the decisions and call it a day and agree. But, you know,
I think there's another
lessons learned, right, guys?
There's another attribute that Imperium has as well, is that our willingness to just not give a fuck. Like, for example, we're willing to sacrifice what we need to in order to get the engagement, the battle of the war scenario into the position that we want it, such as like Keep Stars, for example. The Keep Stars, for example, like y'all were so excited about killing all 40 of those fucking Keep Stars. They're 150 bill each. Like we built those, we fucking financed them and built them in a single year here in Delve, and paid for them over and over. Like, fucking kill them, okay? But you burned out so many motherfuckers over those Keep Stars.
I don't think we did burn out people over those. Sorry, Bill,
fucking
finish.
Who let grandpa have their time at home? Can someone get him a beer and put him to bed? Fuck.
And as to not burning anyone out doing that, certainly burned me out doing that.
Yeah, I mean, like, how many of those fucking like 3-timers each? Oh my god, you gotta sit there for fucking hours. Like, you're not even getting fucking ISK bounty payments from rats or anything. You're just killing the fucking Keep Stars.
Yeah, but obviously
Shut up,
people like
Marius.
Horde were incredibly energized about all the Keep Star bashes.
Yeah, I can tell by the way that their numbers fucking dropped by. Like, we're down to
Not
75% of what they...
And
not
then
during the initial invasion of
Marius, then the second they hit actual resistance, their participation dropped like a fucking rock.
And I don't disagree with your analysis, Cryo. I'm just saying that like the drop in participation happened way later than you guys are making it seem right now.
You gave them a sugar rush. You gave them a sugar rush of 150 bill killboard petting, and then the second they went, oh, we actually have to sacrifice something to make progress, they started eating shit and not looking in, because I don't want to throw myself into
No,
fighting.
I think they're two. I think they're two separate things. Like jamming a bunch of caps and stuff through the 1DQ gate is very, very different to.
I haven't run the numbers, but I'd be very, very keen to see the actual how many people are on each of these Keepstar kills.
Look, Crow, you're forgetting. You're forgetting one important thing. One important thing is that everybody who participated in this, they got honks, okay? And you can never take away those honks. No matter how much you try, they got their honks, and you can never take that away from them.
Why didn't y'all take it like you had Sino Jammers? Why not fucking hit 4 to 6 of them at the same goddamn time? So it's not a fucking like one a day type of like.
Bill,
it's like you're going
people
to the
are risk
fucking...
averse, dude. Bill, people are risk averse. Trust me. Like
it's
you
like
think people, you think Pappy's gonna split up our Titans, dude? Like, come on, like please, risk
You're
averse city,
literally
man.
doing
I mean,
the
everyone,
like, you're visiting
everyone's
the
risk averse in
DMV
this
of
game,
Eve.
but-
Like you're going to the DMV of Eve by shooting one Keepstar a day.
Norris tried bashing one Keepstar under a jammer and almost killed it with fucking kill a Titan with guns.
I know it was unsubbed for the great uncontested Keepstar bashing of Delve circa 2020, and people are going to be like, "Well, you weren't there to form fleets and that." But please, like the risk averse shit has been here for many years. Like nobody wanted to split up their fucking Titans. Like it was the same shit when we were, glassing GOTG, or maybe stick it on the flip side when goons were glassing tribute. Like you guys weren't putting Titans on 3 Keepstars at the same time. You just went for one after another. So I mean, it's just how the tactics are. It's just you guys didn't wait to Sino jam the systems for a month, but
while y'all were shooting those, we're in Dexter's laboratory coming up with the new plan of how we're going to scheme our way out of this.
No. All right. Hey, listen. We've had a lot of fun on this show tonight.
I don't feel like it.
But we have reached our mark. We've
Give us
reached
more
our
leaks.
2-hour mark. I don't have any more leaks for you. I gave all the links. The final leak was the fact that Vince Draken should be quitting the game soon, and it leaves room for everybody else, somebody else to take over and to step in and lead the group. So there's still over 1,000 people watching. Please do not click the X yet, okay? Do not stop watching, because what I want to do, I know there are a lot of you with Twitch Prime subs, okay? And I am going to send you to Iron Bandit. Now, if you don't know, there's a Eve partner program, and Iron Bandit just made it in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send everybody over to his stream, and I want as many people there to just congratulate the hell out of him for making the Eve partner, because it's an achievement for a streamer to do that. We love it, right? And if
you're rubbing it in, is that what you're doing?
And if you've got a spare Twitch Prime sub that you can throw his way, throw it his way, man. Just show him the love, give him all the love you can, because I'm gonna send you guys over to him right now, and we'll do our best. I don't know if we're ever gonna be able to match this show again, but we'll try. But anyways, I hope you guys have fun, and make sure that you let Iron Bandit know that Redline sends his regards. I like that. Show him the love. You're going over there now. I'm gonna drop the credits, and then we'll finish it up.
Matter of